guys, how are we doing? Thanks for joining me once again on this Saturday afternoon. Well, we've got 5 people in the stream at the moment. Let's hope that picks up pretty quick. Normally a lot more than that. I don't know, sometimes YouTube has hiccups. It doesn't send out the notifications. Oh, that's jumped up to 15 now. Yeah, just say hi quickly to 2 new members. I don't know if they're in the stream or not, or they will be, but they might watch it on the rerun. So Tivo Aussie, I think it is. Thanks for joining. And Robert Ferrari, is it? Hi to you. Gary Allman, hi, how you doing? And Anders Bergman, how you doing? Okay, the number's creeping up now. Oh, do you know what? I feel I'm absolutely shattered. I had a bit to drink last night. I'd given it up for a while, a couple of weeks, and I've been having a few beers now and again, but I went out with some friends, which was rare last night. I got absolutely leathered, wasted, and I woke up about 10 o'clock this morning, felt like crap, made a cup of tea, and I thought, I've got to go and lie down again. Laid down at about half an hour around 12 o'clock, had some food and stuff, but I just can't shake it off. I just feel absolutely shattered, So anyway, hopefully we'll get through this stream okay. Richard, how you doing? Andy, how are you? I got the notification. Okay, good. Perbit, how you doing? Good to see you in the evening over there. One thing, when we moved down here to Hua Hin, one thing we didn't take into account, well, I didn't take into account, was just how much heat would be generated in this house. I'm doing a lot of different things at the moment, slowly, to reduce the heat. But when I lived in Bangkok, I lived on the 5th floor of third floor of an older style block, a nice block of apartments. It was called Siri Place, right across from the one of the hotels on Soy 8. Forget the name of it. Further down the street, but because it was built in the late 90s, the walls were thicker. They're not paper thin, the wooden floors, and I never used to hear anything. I mean, I'd be in that apartment on my laptop and it would be absolutely silent. I'd hear the odd motorbike go by. Sometimes some of the younger guys, they take the baffles out of their exhaust systems and they're really loud. We did it when we were kids, and I'd hear that occasionally. But here, I can hear chickens and cows, and the heat, that it's just so hot, having a kind of a heat wave at the moment. I know that sounds kind of weird for Thailand, having a heat wave. It's always hot here, but it's extremely hot at the moment. It feels hotter than the actual temperature. And what I didn't take into account when I moved down here was just how hot things would get in around the house, because they don't insulate the loft. That's something I'm considering now. But it's so hot. We have a 1,000-litre water tank out in the back of the garden. All Thai houses are. The majority of them do. So if there's an interruption to the water system, if the water goes off, then you've got 1,000 litres, to use until they turn it back on again, which we haven't had that issue since we've moved in. But it is so hot that the water that's coming out of the taps is so hot that I can't even take a shower in the daytime. When I usually take a shower about 8 o'clock in the evening, it's then I don't need to turn the hot water on at all, because it's hot, but it's comfortable hot. It's not too hot. But if I was to go into the shower now, I tried it the other day after coming back. I was out in the afternoon, lunchtime sort of thing. I was sweating. I came back. I tried to take a shower and it just burnt me. It was so hot. And I hope you're not eating when I tell you this, but the bum guns that they use here, great device, very healthy, not healthy, hygienic. They're very hygienic, aren't they? The bum guns. Can't use it. It just burns. Talk about, Great Balls of Fire by Jerry Lewis. It's literally is. You can't use it, but it's very, very hot here now at the moment. I've been having the aircon on all day while I've been here. I'm never used to have the aircon on. Not moaning about it, but just letting you know if you're coming out here. I'm having a canopy built over the front of the house. That's costing me 25,000 baht. Some of the other houses have done it, and what it will do, it will stop the sun directly on the windows at the front of the house, because the sun's at the front of the house in the afternoons and evenings. And if hopefully I've had the UV covering put on all the windows now, so that's reduced, brought it down by about 8 degrees. So I'm continuing to do lots of little things. I'm going to put a ceiling fan up, and then if it's still not right, then I'm going to insulate the loft. But yeah, very, very hot. Hang on, dry these a bit. Should do this before I start the stream, really. Check my glasses. Beans and Brew. Good day, mate. Love your channel. So jealous you are living the dream in Hua Hin, my favorite place. I suppose it is living the dream in a way. Perbit often says that to me. You kind of forget, when you live out here full time, you do get into a routine like you do in your own country. When you come out here on holiday, it's exciting. I've talked about this a lot. you know, and you're out in the bars and you're meeting the ladies and it's exciting. And then you go back home to to a boring life, back to work, and you can't wait to get back out here. But when you come out here, it does kind of wear off. It gets to the point where, you know, it's nice here. The food's great. The people are great. This, you know, the weather, everything. I haven't forgotten how horrible I was living in the UK, but you do get into a routine and it does get mundane. You know, I live in a beach town. The last time I went to the beach, probably 3 weeks ago. Oh, I feel rough. Really rough. One of those nights. Absolutely, the ring of fire, it burns. It does. It's horrible. Michael, how you doing? Be happy, Pat. How you doing? Hi. The absence of notification has been regular and annoying. Still like your lives. So somebody else came in earlier, Pat, and said that they got the notification. So I don't know. Have you checked? I mean, this might sound like obvious, but have you checked that you maybe go and click on the notifications bell? You've got to have it on receive all notifications, not just specific notifications, because it's weird how some people are getting the notifications and some people aren't. But for the main part, they are. I'd go and check that if I was you. There's nothing I can do from my end, unfortunately. Richard, if you let the tap run a bit, it should be fine. It's not because of it's hot because of the pipes from the tank to the tap. Let it run a bit before using the bum gun. Okay, I'll try that, but. You know, I'm in the shower. It's the other day. I'm in the shower. It's coming out. The hot shower is actually clicked off, and I was trying to use it for quite a while. It didn't cool down at all, but I'll try it. Open to anything. Rain in Blood. I heard Google's anti-AI initiative has demonetized a bunch of channels, dragging regular in. Yeah, I watched a video about it the other day. There was a guy in the Philippines. Apparently he's been, I've never heard of him before, but apparently he's been around for about 13 years. Just talks about life in the Philippines, and he got his channel demonetized. And what it is, the advertisers on Google, they don't want to pay to go on to AI, you know, because a lot of the AI is totally boring, isn't it? You know, I mean, I hate it when I look. I mean, I use AI thumbnails sometimes because they're handy, but, oh, excuse me. You know, one thing that really winds me up a little, not winds me up, but it's annoying, is I for the most part, I watch YouTube. I don't watch YouTubes about Thailand. I like history, aviation. These guys who go out and camp in the woods with nothing but an axe, you know, make their homes in the woods and everything. You know, anything. But nowadays, there's so many, you know, you used to look at a thumbnail and you'd see a picture of something. You think, oh, that looks good. You click in, it'd be a proper documentary or a proper little movie or something. Nowadays, you know, try and give you an example, something I watched the other day. It was about the flying fortress in the Second World War, and it was something about a ball gun turret, a gunner in a ball turret, and they couldn't release him, and the undercarriage wouldn't go up, wouldn't come down, so obviously he got crushed. But the title of it and everything, I thought, oh, I'll have a look at this history. And all it was, it's just some guy speaking and putting photographs in every now and again. He's just changing photographs. And he's not even a professional journalist or, you know, filmmaker. He just sounds so boring. And there's a lot of that on YouTube now. And I think YouTube, what they're trying to do now, they're just trying to, they're just trying to get rid of, I don't think they're trying to get rid of everything AI. What they're trying to get rid of is people who just use AI all the time. And that guy, when I watched his video, he didn't specifically say what he was using, but somebody else who watches him regular told me that he uses a lot of AI Filipino girls in the backgrounds to whatever he does. So, yeah, I mean, I've been okay so far. I've got over 1,000 videos on my channel, and I haven't had any problems with it. Because once they demonetize you, you can appeal it, but if they stick by their guns, then that's it. It's finished. It's game over. Storm in a teacup. Is your tank undercover? My tank? My car is. I think you mean car. You put tank, just joking there. Yeah, I mean, my ADV 160, I put towels up. Well, not towels, big kind of blanket things that my girlfriend bought. I cover the top box because that'll go white otherwise. It's black plastic. I give you top box and I cover the paintwork. And I've also got a cover that fits the MG3 that I've got like a glove. It's made for the MG3. And I keep it covered at all times. I'm going out this afternoon in the car. I've got to meet my girlfriend at a secondhand wheel and tire place in town at 5. She finished it at 4. I think I mentioned last week, I was lucky. I was only about 2 miles from my house and I got a puncture and I carry that foam. But you know, cars these days, they don't have spare wheels. That foam's okay if you get a nail or something like that. But the problem is the whole side of the tire was shredded. I don't know what happened, but I managed to put some foam in it, and I managed to limp it home, and that destroyed the tire completely, basically. And I couldn't get anybody to come out. So what we had to do, I had to go onto Lazada. I had to buy a wheel brace, to undo the nuts of the wheel, and I had to buy a jack, which came fairly quickly. I put down a big breadboard so I didn't crack the tiles, and then I jacked the car up. I took the wheel off, and we had to drive 8 miles into town to be quick as a car tire specialist. My girlfriend's sitting on the back with the wheel in between us in a plastic bag. We had to go there. We're very lucky because my car's got low profile tires on it, and they only had one in there they'd had for 2 years. So of course I did buy it. We brought it back and put it on. But the problem is, I was kind of thinking, well, what happens if I go up to Bangkok and I'm, coming back at night and it's 10 o'clock at night or something, and I'm an hour out of Hua Hin and the same thing happens? Or what happens if I go to one of the beautiful beach towns, which is an hour and a half away south, and, again, late afternoon, I get a puncture and I can't blow it up. I'm going to be absolutely knackered. So what I've done, I went to see I found a secondhand shop that does wheels and tires, and he's got it sounds a bit crazy, but basically my wheels are 16-inch, okay, but they've got low profile tires. So what he's doing, he hasn't got his secondhand, okay. So what he's done, he's took a 15-inch wheel off a Toyota, and he's putting a regular tire on it, and it's just for emergencies to get me home. But I've got to go there back today at 5 o'clock. He's going to fit it. I'll have a little drive of it and just make sure it's okay, it goes okay, and then he'll take it off and I'll put it in the well space of the boot. It's just an emergency. It'll get me home. I mean, it was a really good wake-up call. And if you're in Thailand and you've got a car, I would suggest you do similar. He's charging me 1,500 baht for the tire and the wheel. A brand new wheel is anything from 3,500 to 4,500, 5,000, depending on if it's alloy or what it is. And a tire these days, even a budget tire, you're looking at a minimum of 2,500 baht. So if I'd bought that brand new, I'd be looking at, I don't know, what's that, 150 pounds, $170, whereas I'm getting the wheel and the tire for 30 pounds, $35. And that should get me out of the trouble next time if it happens. No, my luck, it will never happen again. Thank you to Praval. There's just gifted 5 memberships. Does that quite often. So if your name where your comments is, if it's suddenly gone green, it means you're now a member, and you can join us in the member stream next Sunday night, and you'll get early access to videos. It means the stories that are released on a Tuesday, you can watch them as well instead of waiting until the Saturday. So thanks again, Pravel. Very generous of you. Okay, where were we? Per bit. I'm never getting the notifications for the Saturday stream, but other ones I do. That's really weird, isn't it? I mean, when you click on receive notifications, well, I suppose it's the same for Saturday or Sunday. You should get them all, shouldn't you? I don't know. Let me just check something because I've got it open. And let me just, because I also, when I set it up, there is a button that says notify people. So let me just open this up and have a quick look and make sure that it's not coming from my end. But I suppose it can't be my end because somebody earlier said he got the notification. Where are we? Allow automatic chapters, allow updates, allow updates, allow embedding, show how many viewers like this stream. Where is it? Yeah, there is a button somewhere that says notify subscribers. It's always on. I'm sure it is. I can't see it now because I'm rushing it because I don't want to keep you waiting. Yeah, okay. I'll check it. But I don't think it's me, as I say, for the simple reason somebody got the notification. It is worth you going checking that you've actually... no, that wouldn't work. I was just thinking out loud. Okay. Just check the receive all notifications. Hopefully that'll work. Okay, Raining Blood says Philippine bloggers complaining about it. I don't know if it's Filipino bloggers. I've only seen the one guy. He wasn't a Filipino, but he's based in the Philippines. Similar channel to mine, but he's Philippines. Ronald, thank you. Good stories today. Thank you for that. It's a difficult one, Ronald, because sometimes I run very, very low on stories now. I mean, during COVID, nobody had anything to do. So a lot of guys sent me stories, and sometimes they had to wait 4 months to hear their story read out, even though I was reading out 4 or 5 stories in a single episode. And but now, I mean, I've had 2 new stories sent to me yesterday and today, so that's great. But a lot of the time, I've got to get some older stories from a few years ago just to bulk it out a little bit. But I do tell people, oh, something else I was going to mention as well. So I put out a poll. I talk about this at the beginning of the stories next week, because I pre-record the stories a week in advance. So I started adding text to the stories, and I put a poll out there, and I said, you know, do you think it's a good idea? Do you want the text to stay on there, or do you not like it? So I had about 400 people come back to me on that with their opinions, which I did listen to. So half of them, I'd say about 200 people said they didn't care neither way, because they don't watch the actual video. They just listen. They're in the gym, they're walking the dog, they're driving. Truck drivers have it on in the background. A lot of truck drivers watch this channel. And then out of the other kind of 200, it was more kind of like, I would say 120 didn't like the text and 80 did like the text. So I've decided, somebody brought up a very, very good point. Now, when you look at the videos or the stories on a Saturday morning, there's a little box underneath the screen that says CC. And if you click that, YouTube actually brings up the text. So there's no need really for me to put the text on there, because if you're one of those guys who likes the text, you can actually click on the CC and it will come up on YouTube. But the reason I'm not going to put my own text on there, what brought me to that decision in the end, was because somebody brought up a very good point, and they said, excuse me, the text that I put on is on a single line. So as I'm talking, it goes really fast and it's quite distracting. Whereas YouTube do put it on 2 lines, so it's a lot slower. So for the people who do really, because there are deaf people out there. I mean, I'm not taking the mick. I mean, I had a couple of, a guy who, with his deaf wife, he wrote to me and he said, this is great. You know, I like your stories. I'm surprised he didn't know that YouTube actually has the text, but a lot of people don't. I just assume they knew. So that's a result of that poll. I'm not going to put the text on the stories anymore. If somebody wants to, the people who get annoyed by it, that'll make them happy. And the people who like the text, they can just click on the CC. Then hopefully everybody's happy. Greetings from Dubai, says Derek. How you doing, Derek? Greetings from Hua Hin. Do you know how many times I get told off for saying Hua Hin or Hua Hin? Some people have got too much time on their hands. You know, they write to me and say, it's not Hua Hin, it's Hua Hin, or not Hua Hin, it's Hua Hin. Sean, how you doing? Hello from Cheap Charlie's in Pattaya. Burning hot on Soy Bacal. It's really hot down here as well, Sean. I just mentioned at the beginning of the stream that I can't take a shower in the day because the water is so hot, and the bum gun, forget about it. You know, it's hot, really hot. Stangley, is it 816? I also got notification about 30 seconds before the stream started. Should be about 30 minutes, not 30 seconds, but. Good old YouTube. Richard, 26 degrees in London yesterday. May it continue. That's a nice temperature, isn't it? That's a little bit hot for me. My ideal temperature when I was in the UK, I used to like it between kind of 19 and 21 centigrade. That was, for me, that was warm enough to do everything I had to do. And I used to like that. Praval, how you doing? Good afternoon. Oh, okay, I got it. Ronald, Peter was talking about your water tank. I thought you were taking the mickey and talking about the car. No, it's not covered. It's just a plastic water cap. It's a big water tank. It's 1,000 gallons. I mean, do they sell covers for water tanks? I don't know. I'll have a look on Lazada after this. In fact, what I'll do, Ronald, is it? Yeah, I'll make a note of it right now. Got my handy pad and pen here, because when viewers suggest things, I write it down. What was it again? Water tank cover. Okay. Water tank cover. Okay, I'll get straight on the case when I get off here, because that would help, wouldn't it? If they do a kind of aligned, specifically a jacket for that water tank, then that would help a lot. Gerald, hi Peter, just saw you live. How are you? Hot, Gerald, very, very hot. Binto's down there. He's got a lot of hair coming off him. These Shiba Inus, they molt twice a year and they've got so much hair. But it's not like in the UK where it's all, your house is carpeted and it's really difficult to get it up. I'm walking around, I see clumps of hair on the tiles, and it's easy to pick up. He looks hot even in the aircon. Binto, come and say hello. Come in. Oh, long nails. I'm gonna have to cut his nails tonight. He looks knackered, doesn't he? Look. Yeah, right. I don't know if I mentioned, but next Sunday I've got his legs. Looks like he's going to be crucified. He's tired. I'm going to put him down. I think let him sleep on the tiles. Okay, down you go. He's getting big now. He's covered in. There's me talking about hairs. I'm covered in a hairy git. Yeah, I mean, he likes it in here because I've got the aircon on, the door's closed. I got him some water. I've actually taken. We used to take the water from the tap because for the dog, it's no problem at all. But I've actually I've had to take it. We've got one of those water machines. You know, you can get hot or cold water out of it. It's got two little taps on it. I turn the hot off. If we want hot, we get it from the kettle because it's constantly boiling, waste of electricity. And I've had to fill his bowl up from the cold water because he just can't drink what comes out the tap. Too hot. Oh, look at that. We've done half a litre already. I've just started. Okay. Good morning. How to pronounce your name? Is it Heiko? Oh, thank you. Number one security. Good to catch a live stream. You might have noticed I'm not exactly with it today. I'm okay, but I had a lot to drink last night. I went out with some friends and somebody leaving, you know what it's like. And I keep telling myself, right, I gave up drinking for a while and then I went back to drinking a couple of changs in the evening because I do like a couple of beers. I was down on Hua Hin fishing pier the other night. That's nice down there. You know, you sit down at the end, nice breeze coming in off the coast and, you know, nice cold chang or something like that, a Leo. And, but, you know, I feel it today. I mean, normally if I'm a bit hungover in the morning, normally by 12 o'clock, I'm okay. But even now, I just feel like really, it's the worst I've felt for a long time. It's bloody poison, isn't it? Okay. Richard, Peter, do you try to follow or understand Thai politics, or would you like to, but can't source the right info? Just curious. That's so. Not really, for a couple of reasons. I'm not really a politics sort of guy. I rather follow what's going on in the world, not just Thailand. And the thing is, things change. There's a lot of false news out here. I'm always interested who, you know, the latest prime minister and, you know, the big stories, but I don't really follow like local elections and stuff like that. The rules change constantly here, you know, and most of the Thai news is in Thai. My Thai isn't. Oh God, my Thai isn't that great that I can sit and watch a Thai TV news. You know, and all the English-speaking news channels, they seem to feed off each other. You know, I think what they do, they get their news from one source. I'm just guessing. I'm thinking they get their news from one source and they'll kind of feed off each other and, you know, read out their news, as it were. I bet this is from Perbit. And it is. Thank you very much, Perbert. Do you know, last Saturday or the Saturday before, you were the only one I got a super chat from. A bit thin on the ground now. Thanks for that. Extreme heat, scorching bum gun. Life is tough. You need a chang on me. Cheers. Yeah, I shouldn't be moaning about it, should I really? Okay, we've got over 100 in now, so picking up. Jason Bateman, how you doing? Simon, hi Pete from Ringset, is it? I hope all is well. Yeah. Oh, Rangsit. Sorry, Rangsit. You're here in Thailand as well, so you must be feeling the heat along with me. Ryan, I accidentally turned the subtitles on a few times, taking ages to remind myself how to turn it on. Just the CC. It says CC in a little box underneath. Okay, John, I think that's coming from your end. You keep cutting out. Normally when something happens, when the microphone's bad or I keep cutting out something like that, normally I get a lot of comments. People will say, you've gone, your mic's bad, can't hear you. You're the only one who's actually mentioned anything. So I would check it from your end, to be honest with you. I got really fast. I just checked my internet speed before it came on. It's really fast, 500. I don't know, how do they measure it? Let me have a quick look again. I'm doing it now. It'll be slower now because I'm on live. 400. Will we hit 5? Yep. 514 megabits per second. I couldn't get that in the UK because they still use copper wires coming down to our estate. 500 and whatever it was megabytes. I mean, that's fast. Alan says 22 degrees in Perth, Western Australia. Rain in blood. The CC is necessary for Scots, Scousers and Geordies with strong accents. Okay, but I haven't got the strong accent, have I? So they should be able to understand me. The only complaint I get about when I talk is that I talk too fast, and it's really difficult to. I've tried to slow down when I'm reading out the stories, but it's really difficult to remember because you start off slowly, and I've noticed it picks up. You know, it's like a slow race, and you start galloping. You know, by the time you get to the finish line, you're doing 100 miles an hour again. Okay, Richard. Hi, Peter. Hi, all. Just watching you retire into Thailand. What can go wrong? Some useful pointers covered. Keep the vlogs coming. Thank you, Richard. So if you're wondering what Richard's wondering about, I release a members video on a Saturday. It's Saturday day, isn't it? So the stories videos that are released to members on Tuesday goes out to everybody else on Saturday. So I released a different video for members today, and this is the video he's talking about. But that video will be available to everybody's on Tuesday. And what it is, I'm talking about retiring out here in Thailand. You know, you make your plans. Maybe you've been out here half a dozen times on holiday or even more. You're planning to retire out here like I have. You've done your budgeting and everything's looking good. But things can go wrong that are not so obvious, you know, and that video that I've just put out, that will go out to everybody on Tuesday. I just go through about 20 points of things that can go wrong without you realizing. So it gives you a few pointers, you know, hopefully you won't get caught out. Paul, how long did you stay off the beer? It's not a case of how long. It's, I mean, once my wife accused me of being an alcoholic, and I said, right, I'll prove it to you. I said, I won't have a drink for a year. And I didn't touch it. Not one drop touched my lips. But I actually stopped for 14 months. And then I fancied going and getting a few cans on a Sunday night. This time, only a couple of weeks. I just wanted to give my body a bit of a rest. I'm not one of those people who are kind of preaching about it. You know, I get people say, oh, you said you'd given up. And, oh, I know you wouldn't last. And, you know, it's almost like I've signed a contract with a viewer. And if I have a beer, I'm in the wrong, you know. At the end of the day, it's my life. It's my choice. It's up to me what I want to do. I decided I want to come off the alcohol for a couple of weeks just to give my body a rest. I do have regular blood tests. They check my liver, my kidneys. Everything's fine. I had the last one about 6 months ago. I'll probably due for another one soon. You know, but I do enjoy a drink sometimes. But I don't drink like I did last night. I just went over the top last night because I went out with a couple of friends, and we were having a good time. And I just drank too much. Right, let me just say thank you to a generous man out there. Road Trip Round, how are you doing? Thank you, Peter, for everything. I can't wait to come back there. I drove down to Bangkok, from Bangkok to Phuket. That's a long drive. And stopped in Hua Hin, and I loved it there. Windy and rough seas. Well, first of all, thank you very much for the very generous super chat there, $20. I do appreciate that, as always. And yeah, one thing about Hua Hin, I'm always preaching on about it. It's not for everyone down here, okay, but I like it. But one thing I really like about here, it's always windy. It's always. I'm looking at my camera that goes over the back garden. I've got 4 cameras, one at the front, one at the back, and 2 on the sides. And my girlfriend planted some trees at the back here, bushes, and they're above the fence now. And I can see at the front, the blanket that's over my ADV is blowing quite hard, and the trees at the back are blowing quite hard. I remember being in Pattaya. I'd be sat in a beer garden on the seafront, you know, around Soi 6. Yeah, of course, you know Soi 6, right? The infamous Soi 6. So you come out of Soi 6, turn left, you walk along, I think not too far, a couple of 100 meters maybe. And there's a big kind of one of these typical Thai outdoor. You can go around in lots of stores and get food, and that you can sit down and have beer. I remember sitting there and there wasn't a breath of air in the, you know, it was so hot, I was sweating. And, you know, many times I've walked down along the beach road after dinner. You know, my girlfriend and I maybe took a songtail, tuk-tuk on the beachfront. We're staying in Soi 2 at the time, right at the other end of Beach Road. We like the quieter end. We'd jump on a tuk-tuk, go all the way down towards Walking Street, and then maybe go in a mall and have something to eat, or we'd go to some Thai restaurant or a pizza, something like that, you know. And then what we used to like to do after dinner, when I was with her, we used to like to walk down the entire length from, say, Walking Street all the way down to Soi 2. Good walk, good work. Got to be a mile at least, 2 miles maybe. And but the problem was there was never any wind coming in off the shore, very rarely, you know. And here in Hua Hin, like I said, I was on the fishing pier the other night. You have a vision of all these fishermen on there, but it's called the fishing pier. People do fish off it, but it has a big night market on there with food and drinks. And at the end of it, there's a kind of beer garden. But it's really windy and it feels nice, and there's no mosquitoes because of the wind. And yeah, it's windy on the west side of the Gulf. I reckon I'm going to finish that. And I've got a bottle of orange squash in the fridge. I'll probably have to go and grab that, because if I stand, it will take about 5 minutes to fill it up again. Oh, God. Alcohol. Terrible. That was my girlfriend. She says, don't forget 5 p.m. today. That's for the car. Hopefully they'll sort it out today. I'm taking the train on tomorrow, actually, with a friend of mine. Is it tomorrow? No, hold that thought. I'll come back to you on that one because I'm not sure what's going on. Okay. Hi, Peter. The authorities chasing retirees for tax returns if they stay more than 100 days per year. That's not actually true. They're not chasing foreigners. I don't want to get into a big debate about it, but I'll just say they're not actively chasing foreigners. I mean, if you don't believe me, go and have a look at Integral. Is it Integral Legal Integrity? He puts out videos most days. An American lawyer based in Bangkok, and he's done a number of videos on tax. They're certainly not actively chasing foreigners at the moment. Roger, how you doing? A bit younger than you. No tech head. Haven't subscribed. Chang was better when it was around 6%. Well, it was actually at one point Chang was 8.6% in the 90s. Okay, in the 90s there were three main beers. One of them is gone completely now. You don't see it. Carlsberg was very big here. It was in competition with Heineken, and I don't think Carlsberg is available in Thailand anymore. I haven't seen Carlsberg for years. They used to have a German beer here in the 90s called something like, it wasn't Kronenberg, but it had a German name. That was quite a good beer. And then, of course, Heineken was always around. But I remember Chang, it was only available in the big bottles. No, there was no cans of Chang back then. I'm talking around, I'd say 96, 97. I used to go out a lot around Sukhumvit then. And nobody really drank Chang when they went out, because I think that's one of the reasons they reduced it. Because if you drank Chang, one of them, and you'd be flying home. I remember coming out a Therme Cafe one night, and I was hungry, and it was about 2:30 in the morning. And I had a few drinks, but I certainly wasn't drunk. And I sat down at one of these tin tables on Sukhumvit and ordered a bowl of noodles. And I said, "Have you got any beer?" And she said, "Only Chang." And I thought, "Oh, okay, I'll have a Chang." I knew it was strong. Hang on, excuse me. I knew it was strong. I had one can and I was one bottle and I was wasted. So yeah, it used to be 8.6, I think it was. You can look it up. Michael, great advice. Would you say Hua Hin's becoming a mini Phuket? No, I wouldn't say it's becoming a mini Phuket, but one thing I suppose I'm being a bit selfish really, because I like it how it is at the moment. It's very peaceful down here. You know, you don't get any, the sort of gangs of people you get in Pattaya, the big groups who wander around. I won't, I'm going to get called racist if I name anybody, but the big groups you get wandering around Pattaya who don't move out the way and stare at your girlfriend and, share one ice cream between four of them. You know what I mean, right? So there's none of them down here. You don't get them groups coming here. There's no big groups of Chinese, walking down Walker Street with a flag in the front, just gawking at everybody. You don't see fights. I see a lot of fights on TikTok in Walking Street now. It's become, I think Pattaya, I'm not slating it, running it down. I mean, it's still a great city. A lot of people go there and they have a lot of fun. They behave themselves, but it is becoming a little bit like Ibiza, like Spain and Las Vegas, those sort of places. I liked it back in the 90s. It was a completely different town. If you weren't there in those days, you won't really connect with what I'm saying. I'm not one of those guys who looks back in time and it's like, oh, the good old days when I was when I was young, everything was better. It's not that. It actually was just more quaint. There wasn't mobile phones around. The girls are a lot more attentive. It's just industrial down there now, isn't it? It's an industrial machine to get as much money as you can. I mean, I remember down there years ago. I will answer your question, Mike. I remember years ago, you're sitting in a go-go bar, you see a girl dance you like, you just say, "Man, it's a number 14, and she'd come down. And there was no demand for a drink or two drink. I mean, I've heard stories now where if you take a girl off stage, you have to buy her 2 drinks, but just to get her off the stage, it wasn't like that then. But in answer to your question, they're now widening the runway at Hua Hin Airport, because they do have an airport here in Hua Hin, but they didn't do a lot of flights originally because the king had a palace down here, so they didn't want to disturb him with lots of flights. Okay, and the only flights they have to Hua Hin at the moment, as far as I know, is from Chiang Mai. But they're widening, the runway, the tunnel under the runway. I can see it's getting wider now, and they're planning to put on flights from Phuket to Hua Hin. So obviously, if they're going to open up a route from Phuket to Hua Hin, I wouldn't imagine they're extending the runway or widening the runway just for Phuket. They're probably going to have a few international flights come in. So that's great for anybody who wants to come here on holiday. But Actually, I'm glad where we live. I live about 8 kilometers from the center of town. So I'm far enough out of it not to be like, if it becomes like Pattaya one day, not to be in the middle of it, but I'm near enough to get into town if I want to. Okay, Raining Blood. Water is good. Body needs water to flush poisons of alcohol out. Okay, tell me about it. I'm already. I'm surprised I still feel like this now, because, as I say, whenever I've had a bit too much to drink, normally I'll wake up and it's like, oh, I feel like shit, and then I'll have a couple of cups of tea or coffee, and by about 11:30, 12, I'm back on the ball again. But even now, I mean, it's 20 to 3 in the afternoon here, and I just feel like crap. Mind you, a lot of it I think is down to the hot weather, because that does wear you out as well. When I was sitting in my kitchen this morning, when I first moved in here in November, the back door would be open. There's a nice breeze comes through. I got a fan in the kitchen as well that I'd have on, and I'm looking at my phone while, drinking coffee, and it was very pleasant. But now I have to keep the back door closed because the sun is just burning hot, and it's over there, behind the house where the kitchen door is, and I have 2 fans on. And poor old Binto, I mean, when he comes in here, he's flat out. He's on the tiles there, because we've got tiles, not carpet, obviously, so the tiles are cool. And because I've got the aircon on, it's on, look, 21. I'm going to put it down a little bit more and put the fan up. That's a 12 BTU. It's not the smallest you can get. It goes 9, 12, 18, 24. When we had to put when we were thinking about what air cons to put in the rooms, because we put one in the bedroom, one in here, which is I use as my office. This is a second bedroom, and then we didn't put one in the third room because we use that for storage. I put racking in there because there's not a lot of storage room in the lounge. And the real estate, or the developer, when we were looking, when we came into this house the first time, there was nothing. It was just a shell. There were no windows in the. There was no windows in it. There was no grass down. There was no tiles on the carport. I mean, it was just literally a shell. We were going to take one further down the street, but some Thai guy who bought the one next door built some monstrosity that kind of with steps. He had a second level in the front of his garden where he could look down into the next property. And we said, we're not moving in there. And luckily this one was available kind of 3 doors down, which is quite nice. But yeah, it's the heat does affect you. Martin Ryder, never wrong. I can't mention anything, Martin, but yeah. Right, okay, where were we? Let's go where we left off. Okay, Richard, did I read that out? Have you found your favorite beach bar or restaurant in Hua Hin with really good value for money? Yeah, I mean, there's lots of places here that are very good value for money. I mean, a large Chang, Singer, or Leo, generally, when you go out, is about 65 baht for a large one. Bangkok, big night market with a live band, dancing girls, all free entertainment, 65 baht for a beer. When you go into the girly bars, there are some girly bars here, like Binta Bar, there's a walking street here, nothing like Pattaya, but it is called Walking Street, and it's just one street of girly bars. Soy 94, Wonderland, a lot of bars, those sort of bars, you're going to pay 80 baht, anywhere from 80, 85 baht for a small beer. But generally speaking, the Thai restaurants, regular places, it's 65 baht. And I have got a few favorite ones around. Yeah, for sure. Actually, I'm going to one tonight. I've literally just found the other day. Somebody told me about it. I can't remember what the name is, but it's really nice. It's only down about 5 kilometers down the highway from me. And you go in, it looks fairly small, but it's a big one of these kind of, Thai style. It's like a garden, and it's got all overhanging vines and colored lights and, wagon wheels and wooden tables, and very pleasant. And there's live music, but you can hear yourself talk. It's not too loud. There's a lot of places here. Right, Ricardo. Hello, Pete. A friend of mine stays at the Adelphi Suite. Hello, Pete, from Adelphi Suites on Soy 8, Bangkok. I've been watching a few videos of Lake Palmer. He's had me in stitches. How that guy never got his own show, I'll never know. He's actually passed away now, Lake Palmer. He was quite a entertaining guy, not in purpose. He was a guy he was one of the first guys that was really televised, who was looking for a Thai bride, and I could talk about it all morning. We talked about it the last time, but in the end, he met a Filipino girl, and she died, unfortunately, and then he died. He was on the Trisha show in the UK, and they just ripped him apart. I felt sorry for the guy. Yeah, Ricardo, the Adelphi Suites. I know it very well. I used to walk past it nearly every day. I lived further down. When you come out of the Adelphi Suites, if you turn right instead of going to Sukhumvit, keep going down, you've got Det 5 on your left. That's the restaurant. And then you go down even further, there's a smaller 7-Eleven. And then about 50 feet on from there, there's a hotel called Hopeland. That's what it's called. Hopeland Hotel, normally full of Koreans. You see them all smoking at the front every day. So you got Hopeland Hotel, and then immediately opposite there, you got a block called Siri, and that's where I was staying. Very nice and quiet down that end. Who remembers Lake Palmer? Yeah, there was another good show on called, what was it? It was based in America. 90 Day Bride, I think it was called. That was quite entertaining as well. Okay. Rain in Blood, again, the speed can be adjusted on YouTube itself. There's no need for you to change your style at all. The only problem with the speed, I know exactly what you're talking about. So if you can watch a video and you can have it like 1.5 times, 2, or slower. But the problem is, if you put it slower, it's ridiculously slow. It'd be like, he went into the bar and met Knock. It wouldn't be entertaining at all. And then if it's just one of those things, I don't think you could do it. Let me just, that was Damon. He hasn't been in a stream for a long time. I'll just put live now, see if he comes in. There we are. He's in Pattaya at the moment. Oh, I do apologize, DC Falcon. You didn't say they were. You said, hi, Peter. Are the authorities chasing retirees for tax returns if they stay more than 180 days per year? Okay, so I kind of shot off at you a little bit last time, didn't I? I was a bit defensive because I thought you were kind of stating the case. And I live here and I know it's not true. So in answer to your question, no, they're not actively chasing foreigners for tax at the moment. There's a lot... You see, in Thailand, if you're an expat and you live here, there's always a lot of scaremongering, and sometimes the Thais bring out rules with what they intend to do. Everybody gets their feathers ruffled, and it's all over social media, and everybody makes videos about it, and then it dies away. Nothing happens. And it's like that happens very often here in Thailand. A new rule is going to come out, and then you never hear nothing else about it. But one thing that is happening, which is definite because it's been announced, drum roll, they are reducing the 60-day entry. It's not a visa, is it? For tourists, over 100 countries get it. So when you come in at the moment, you get 60 days. You can stay 60 days. They've already announced that they are going to reduce that down to 30 days to stop the abuse of people coming here, living here when they shouldn't really be living here because they're on tourist stamps. The only thing they haven't said is when they're going to do it, but they said they are definitely going to do it. I think I will have to get my bottle of orange juice, orange squash. You'll have to fill in, Benji. God, he's out for the count. Okay. Okay, Glenn, is it? Good morning, Peter. Hope you are well, mate. Late to the show. Just back from walking my bulldogs. It's lovely, sunny weather in Suffolk, England. Nothing compared to Thailand, though. Right. Yeah, you're right. It's nice. But that's one thing I miss about the UK is when I used to take I've always had, I had beagles in the UK. I had, the first one was Skip, very original name, I know, female. And then Benji, he's still hanging on. I don't think he's got long to go. My daughter send me videos when they're out with him. I used to walk him for miles. You can't do that here in Thailand because it's just so hot. That, and you've got the soy dogs as well. There's a reservoir about half an hour's drive away from me. It's about 15 miles, and it's got a 3.5 kilometer walk around it, and there's no soy dogs on there, and it's very flat, and it's a nice breeze comes in off the reservoir, but it's not doable on a daily basis because like I say, it's a 1 hour round trip, isn't it? Not know the fuel, what's going to be happening with fuel. I don't really want to be wasting fuel, but I miss that in the UK. I used to take my dog even in the winter, when it wasn't raining. I lived on the edge of town, Kettering. I lived on the edge of town, nearly the last main road. How can I describe? Not a highway that goes out of Kettering, but it was a kind of one of the main roads in Kettering, but it was right on the outskirts. And I only had to walk 10 minutes from my house, and I was in the countryside. And I used to walk for miles and miles. I'd say 5 to 10 miles some Sunday afternoons. I'd go out with the dog, and we'd be trekking. Excuse me, trekking over farmers' land, not trespassing. You're allowed. The good thing about the UK, there's lots of walks you're allowed to go on. You explore old airfields and stuff like that. We'd be gone for ages. I miss that because you just can't do it here. It's too hot. Hi, Martin, early stream. I do it every other Saturday now, Martin. There's a Sunday stream as always. I've always done it every 2 weeks. But on alternative weeks, I do the Saturday stream, which is at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, my time, because it just opens it up to different people who can't normally, like Herbert, for instance. It's evening where he is at the moment. But if I did at 8 p.m., he'd be fast asleep. He'd be about 3 in the morning, right? I think I'm the wrong person to ask that. You're saying, what are the latest scams going on in Pattaya? Well, of course, I'm not in Pattaya, and I haven't been out in Pattaya. I haven't been to Pattaya. I've been living here for 6 months. So the last time I was in Pattaya was about 8 months ago, and I didn't get scammed. So I don't know. I'm sure, there's so many YouTubers down there I see in Pattaya now, new ones as well, and they're all making the same kind of content for the most part. I'm sure there's somebody down there has made a video about scams. Herbert, do they have plans to start the ferry from Hua Hin to Pattaya again? No, I haven't heard anything about it. There's a lot of people on social media, on Facebook and Instagram, and they put false claims on there. They say, yes, as from November the 1st or I don't know, May the 1st, the ferry will be back on, but it's absolute rubbish. It's just lies. There is absolutely no plan for that. Okay. Indian Buffalo, 7-Eleven has a hangover drink. Yeah. Nearest 7-Eleven to me is about 3 miles away. Ryan Seeger, Peter, you need the hair of the dog. Yeah, everybody says that, but I know that's the problem. That's how you get into becoming an alcoholic here, because you're drinking in the evening. So I've always had a golden rule: don't touch it in the daytime. I've been in situations where people say, come on, have one beer, around a swimming pool or something, and I think it's the start of a slippery slope. I think that's my golden rule. I just don't touch it in the daytime, even if it's going to help me. I just don't want to go near it in the daytime. David says, hi, Peter. In my opinion, Phuket was the best place in the 90s, but then again, so was the whole of Thailand. Yeah, it's totally changed. It's totally changed. When older guys like me compare what Thailand was, the certain towns, to what it is now, it's difficult to kind of explain to people because they just see you as a bit of a whiner and living in the past. But it definitely was. It definitely was. The first time I went into Nana Plaza, I don't go there anymore, but the first time I went into Nana Plaza, it was actually just transitioning from a shopping mall to what it is today. It never used to be a full-on entertainment center. It was actually open. It used to say on the front, Nana Shopping. That's what the sign said, Nana Shopping. And what happened is when I first got there were a few bars in there, but if you're familiar with Nana Plaza, as you walk in, there was no security there, nothing at all. You just walked in, okay? When you walked into Nana Plaza, in the middle, you've got the bars, the outside bar. There was nothing there. The staff used to park cars and motorbikes there. I remember an American manager got beat up one night because he tried to stop them parking bikes outside a bar he was managing. Brutal that was. That's another story. But yeah, you'd walk in. So I'm just trying to do it from memory now. So you'd walk in. There was no security. There was nothing on the ground floor. That was just parking. Okay. On the left, where that big bar is now, what is it? Stumble's taking it over now. It used to be, I forget what it was. But that was three very small bars on the left. And as you walked in on the right, you had Lucky Luke's bar, not the place that's there now. The third floor, you had a girls' dormitory up there where a lot of the bar girls stay. They pay a small amount, and they slept up there on the third floor. That was where, what's there now? The Carousel Bar. It's called Billboard now. If you came in, you looked up there on the left. And on the other side, on the right, that was a big snooker hall. It wasn't bars. So you only had bars on the first floor. As you go up the stairs, you had the Rose Bar, which was run by two ex-Vietnam helicopter pilots who decided to stay. And then you had the Hog's Breath. That's where, what's there now? Spanky's, is it? That's what it used to be called, Spanky's. So there used to be two bars there, the Red Rose, or was it the Red Rose? Something Rose, and the Hog's Breath. Of course, they're gone now. You had Casanova's Ladyboy was in the corner. I can't remember them all. But at that time, They still had a travel agents on the ground floor in Nana Plaza. There was a gold shop. There was a travel agents. There was a gold shop. I remember there was a restaurant in there. It was an Arabic restaurant. Where was it from now? I can't remember. I know it was an Arabic restaurant, but it was specific to one country. Turkish, I think it was. Yeah. So travel agent, a gold shop. But of course, they got pushed out because, you know, the rents started going up and getting silly because the landlord, there's one landlord for the whole place now. You know, they started realizing, well, they can get more money out of the bars, and now they've developed it. There was no canopy on it. You know, if you're outside in the plaza and it rained, you got wet, simple as that. You know, and also I remember Soy Cowboy in the 90s. There were no bars outside. It was just a street with cars parked up it like a regular street, and then you had the bars. You had to open a door and go through into the bar. But these extensions that come out, they were not there. It was just a normal road with cars parked on it. And the hottest go-go bar back in those days was, and it's still there today, it was Long Gun. You know, that was the number one spot down there in Soy Cowboy. So, yeah, I mean, good memories from the 90s. And Therme was open all night, of course. It was there was no closing. It was you came out when I've come out there with the sun up, you know, staggering out of there at 6 a.m, you know, ridiculous, really. PK Carson, hi, how you doing? John Gilbert, hi. Listen to you, all very normal and natural. Keep it up. Thank you, John. Richard, are you watching any Netflix or Prime whilst chilling out? I have got Netflix, but the problem is I find I keep a family package on it, okay, because my daughter lives with her boyfriend, the older one, out of my ex-wife's house, and my younger daughter still lives with her mum, my ex-wife. So I just had a family package in the UK because one used to watch. They used to watch it in their bedrooms. You know, one would watch cartoons and stuff, another would be watching soaps for teenagers, and you know, and it's about £30. And people say, oh, if you close your account and sign up in Thailand, it's a few $100. But the problem with that is you get a totally different selection. So I just kept to the family package. And but I don't, you know what? I don't really watch Netflix. I just find the films on there, the movies are quite old, you know, and then they've even got a 90s section now, you know, and occasionally they have the odd film that comes on there and I think, oh, this looks good, and I'll watch it, but not very often. I've got an Amazon Fire Stick, and I've got some of these apps that you can download that you're not really supposed to have, but they have new movies on them. But every now and again, Amazon blocks them. You know, I've tried all sorts of things to stop them being blocked, but you'll turn it on. Like UK Turks is a good app. It's got all the old UK series programs, plus the current ones, plus movies from right up from the 30s to the latest box office movies that are out. So it's all categorized, you know, zeros, the 80s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, right up to the modern day. And you'll go in, you'll click it, and Amazon brings up a message saying you can't watch it because it's illegal, you know, blah, blah, blah in the UK, and I'm not in the UK. And all I have to do, it's just a pain because I have to go in and delete it. And then I have to go off and find it again. And sometimes the links don't work. Get rid of that. Sometimes the links don't work. And, you know, so in answer to your question, I don't watch Netflix very often. I watch a lot of YouTube, but again, like I said earlier on in the stream, I don't like AI too much. You know I use AI thumbnails because sometimes I just can't get the images I want. Okay, but I don't like these guys who make videos where you look at it on YouTube and think, oh, that looks interesting. A documentary about some serial killer or something, you know, not that I'm a morbid sort of person, or a documentary about warbirds, you know, the piston driven engine of airplanes, you know, and you think, oh, that looks good. And you go on and it's just slides, you know, and some guy giving a droll commentary over it. I don't like those sort of videos. So YouTube's getting more difficult now to find good entertainment. Okay, so Martin, you say, I heard Pattaya is empty. Okay, so Damon is in Pattaya at the moment. And I've heard this comment from other people, and then I've heard other people say, oh, no, it's busy. It's always busy. So I actually wrote a text to Damon yesterday, and I said, look, people are telling me it's dead, and people are telling me it's busy. What is it? You're there right now. And what Damon's answer was, he said, yeah, it's pretty quiet in the daytime. He says, but you see quite a lot of people out at nighttime. And he said he hangs out around Soy Bacau and stuff. And he says, yeah, it gets busy. He says it's certainly not dead. So, I mean, I'm just going on what he's told me, Martin, but you know, you're a regular there. Maybe you notice it more than he does. Tilted Vlogs. England has been invaded. Okay, I can't read that out. Okay, Kev, have you heard of a YouTuber called Darren John? Never heard of him, no. Okay. Martin Wright says, I could never leave my dog. Well, I had no choice, Martin. You know, I wasn't going to go off and rent or buy a property and stay in the UK unemployed just to stay with my dog. You know, I knew he'd be looked after by my two daughters, and they're very loving, and they have taken very good care of him. And occasionally, if he has a medical bill, I'll help them out with that. But I didn't really have any choice. I wanted to come to Thailand. My marriage ended after 33 years. I had to make a decision, and it wasn't an option to bring the dog. You know, he's old. It just wasn't an option. I couldn't look after him. I wouldn't have been able to find an apartment. It's very hard to find a pet-friendly apartment in Bangkok. Certainly in a tourist area. But I've got a new one now. Been to, he's okay. He's chewing everything. He's got his head behind a cardboard box now. He's just like out of it. Beans and Brew. Have you been to Halfway Inn on Soy 94? Great bar and restaurant. And Dave and Nan are great hosts. I don't know, because I've gone into a few places and I went in a place and had breakfast not far up from the 7-Eleven after the railway lines. And I've been in a few places there. But a lot of the time, I don't even look at the name of the place. I just look at it and think, that looks all right. I've got a golden rule. If a restaurant's empty, I mean, absolutely empty, I'll never go into it. Because I've got this theory that if a restaurant's empty, it's either one, very bad and got a bad reputation, so nobody goes there, and two, the food's probably just sitting there. It's not turning over, is it? So there's a good chance of maybe catching something. But I had a very good breakfast down there, and I don't know if it was that place or not. But there's so many good restaurants. It's not, you know, people say to me, oh, have you been to that restaurant? They do a really good English breakfast. Or have you been there? They do a really good roast on a Sunday and that. But the thing in Hua Hin, it's like Pattaya. It's not like it's unusual to be able to get a really good breakfast or a really good roast dinner. You can go everywhere and get good food here. You know, you don't have to have that one go-to restaurant. You know, we've all got our favorites, but even if I stopped all my favorite restaurants tomorrow and changed them, I could find, you know, a lot more. I'll tell you where is pretty good value, and I've only been using it lately, is in Blueport Mall. They have a big C in there, shopping market. They've got a few food areas to eat. They've got a big food court. They've got a KFC. I don't eat that stuff. But they've got a restaurant actually in Big C. And what's good about it, I mean, I ordered a cheeseburger and fries, chips, right? Only 109 baht, and I thought it's not going to be very good at that price. Really good quality meat. And I had it again when I went back. Yeah, was it yesterday yesterday I went there. But what's good, they have a salad bar, they have a soup bar, and you can actually go up and buy the salad and sit down in their restaurant and eat it. Or you can, like I had an onion soup, and she said, you eating it here or taking it away? I said, no, I'll eat it here. And she brings it out on a tray with a bowl and a spoon. And it was like 80 baht, you know, really homemade, really nice onion soup. So I'm starting to use that place a bit more because it's air conditioned. It is very hot at the moment. Absolutely right, Martin. But I've got to watch something, right? Okay. I always have difficult pronouncing your name. It's yeah. I won't even try because I don't want to insult you. But hi, Peter. Glad to see you again. I have never a session with you. Watch the booze at 74 years old. I do a bottle of red wine daily. Haha. Okay, why not? You got to 74. Why not enjoy yourself? The problem with me is once I start, I don't know when to stop. When I'm out, that is, you know. Okay, Perbet, boring question. Can you pay all your utility bills online, or do you have to do some QR code thing at 7-Eleven? It's not a boring question at all, because a lot of people who come out here, that's the sort of information they want to use. So here's the deal with paying bills and getting money out the ATM and everything here in Thailand. It's just so much easier than the UK. I don't know why. They're just so switched on here. I don't carry cash at all. As far as bills go, they have, like electricity, for instance, they have an app, okay? You have to check it yourself. Remember to check it every month. Your bill will be there and you pay it. But luckily here in Hua Hin, we get a paper bill. And what happens is we have a letterbox like I do back home. So they'll come along on the 2nd of the month. They pop the paper electric bill in the post box, take it out. I can see the amount. It's a little bit high now because of the air condition and everything. It's got a QR code on it. All I do is a QR code on my phone, pay. That's it. It's done and dusted. What else? Water, same thing. They send a bill. It's normally about 150 baht a month. Has a QR code. Just bang. That's done and dusted. My internet and my phone bill is AIS. I think they're the best company, the fastest, best coverage. No backhanders. That's who I'm with. I've got quite a hefty package. It's about 1,200 baht a month, but I get very fast internet and a good phone package. Okay. You could survive on a lot less than that. But again, I've got an app, an AIS app. And what they do, they'll send me a text. Look, it'll say something like your bill is now due. I go into the AIS app. I've got two bills, one for the phone, one for the internet. It will tell me the amount. I just paid it actually yesterday. It was 680 baht for the phone and about 700 for the internet, something like that. I just click pay now, and it goes through to my bank, and that's it. Was there anything else you wanted to know? Oh, and the last thing that's really good is the ATM machine, because I've got 3 bank accounts here in Thailand. I've got SBC. I've got, which I use the SBC because I put an amount in there every month. Just, I'm getting older now. I don't know what my financial situation will be like in the future. So anything I've got, I can spare, I put in there for the future. Okay. I might need to buy a new car one day. That money will be there. I've got a Bangkok bank account. That's in Bangkok, unfortunately. And I've got 2 K bank accounts. One is in Hua Hin and one is in Bangkok. So when I went to the ATM yesterday, I took out 10,000 baht. I'm not going to spend all that at once. But what happens is you go onto your online banking, withdraw money, you go into their app, withdraw money, you put the amount in there, and then you click QR code. It saves it for about a minute. When you're at the machine, you go onto the any ATM machine, and there's a button there. It says withdraw without card, something like, or paper, withdraw without card. Press that and it'll bring a QR code up there. And then what you do is scan that with your phone and your money comes out. It's that simple. No, is that Damon who's just messaged me? Let's have a quick look. No. So it's so easy here. It's so easy. I don't use cash. The only reason I use cash, I take a couple of 100 bahts in 20 baht notes. And the only reason for that is if we got, and again, in a restaurant, it's QR code. They bring the bill, I QR code it. I don't pay cash anymore. You just have pockets of change. You go home, you throw change in a jar and you always forget to take it out with you. The only reason I take out a bit of cash sometimes is for tips. It's a tipping society here. I don't leave big tips, 20 baht. That's it. If I get good service, if I get really good service, I'll give them 40 baht, But yeah, it's becoming a cashless society here. David, Peter, isn't there a park on the beach side not far from you, about 3 kilometers on the way back into town? There is, but it is far from me because I say I'm 8 miles. I'm on Highway 3218, and it's about 8 kilometers into the center of Hua Hin. But then that park is on the other side of Hua Hin. You're talking about the Queen's Park. That's the one. It's not very big. It's not very big at all. It backs off onto the beach. I've gone down there and I've filmed down there before. I was going to do a background video for the stories. It took me 5 minutes to walk around it, but no, it's not close at all. JC in Thailand. It's now called Hot Lips. Okay, which one's that? What's called Hot Lip? Are you talking about Spankies? Okay. Stumbling is now called Hot Lips on Soy Cowboy. Okay, I didn't even know there was a Stumbling on Soy Cowboy, because Stumblin's on Nana Soy 4, right? I didn't even know there was one on Cowboy. When I was still going out to the bars, like when I broke up with my wife and I was in Pattaya for a couple of months, and then I come up to Bangkok. I was single then, right? I was still going out, not late nights. I was still going out to have a few nights out. Some nights I go out by myself, and I was normally home by about midnight. But I don't know if it's because I was older, but I used to enjoy Cowboy a lot more than Nana. I just found Nana was just so hardcore, they just get hassled all the time. Girls coming to say hello, buy me a drink and all the rest of it. What's really funny is when you get to learn a little bit of Thai and you can overhear what the bar girls say. I mentioned this in last Sunday's stream because somebody asked me the question. So I don't speak enough Thai to be able to talk to somebody like I'm talking to you now. I can't, but I know all the food, the prices. I can a lot. My girlfriend says to me every day, "Wow, your Thai is really coming on," because I've been with her over 3 years. But when I used to sit in a go-go bar, it's funny when you listen to the Thai girls, because they tend to say the same thing. So what will happen? Scenario: I'll be sitting in, say, I won't name a bar, but say I'm sitting in a bar in Cowboy, okay? And then a girl will come up and, the normal thing, they put their hand out. "Oh, you on holiday? Where you from?" And I used to pretend I I was a newbie just to play it out for a bit of fun, really. And I hadn't bought her a drink. And then another bar girl had come up and she'd say in Thai to her, has he bought you a drink yet? And this one would say, not yet, but I'm working on it, And then the other one would say, if he gets you one, tell him I'm your sister and it's my birthday. And they're actually saying this to each other in front of me, thinking I'm a tourist. I don't understand it. And that was quite comical. Some of the times I shouldn't have done it because there's actually a little bit of lost face, but I couldn't resist. Sometimes we'd be sitting there and that scenario and the girl would say, oh, tell him it's my birthday. I might get a drink as well. And I'd turn around in Thai and say, happy birthday. And they're just, good fun. Right. Okay. James, greetings from Rawai, is it? Where's that? Oh, Phuket. Right. All right. I'm considering moving to HH in the coming months and coming for another visit in mid-May. Would love to pick your brains about life in Hua Hin. Have lived in Thailand for 8 years. Okay. You could even do it online, James. I do offer a service, actually. Look, let me just put this up there. If you go onto my website, thailand-bound.com, there it is going across the screen now. There is a link there. I know I'm not a doctor, right? Consultation. But there is an option where we can do this online. It's like a live stream. It's totally private. You don't need to download anything. It's totally safe. And we can talk to each other. If I meet somebody for a beer, I generally just want to meet socially. I don't want to be giving out lots of information because it feels like I'm doing YouTube. If you want a lot of information, then we can do it like that. If you just want to meet for a casual beer, that's fine. But I don't want to be, like just sitting there answering questions. Don't take that personally. It's like, I'll give you another example, which I really don't like. Like sometimes, I've been telling stories for the last nearly 6 years now. So every week I get a bunch of stories. I have to read through them. I have to edit them. Luckily now with ChatGPT, that takes care of all the spelling mistakes, the capitalization, the removing of the paragraphs. Because some people write 2 lines and hit enter, and then write 2 lines, hit enter, because they're trying to make the story look longer than it is. And it's just a very short story. So I used to close them paragraphs up manually. And then, I used to check the spelling, and then I'd put it into my auto cue online. But now I can just put the whole story into ChatGPT and say, don't change this story, but check it for spelling, grammar, make sure it's YouTube compliant, take out paragraph breaks, leave it one block of text, and it will go straight through that story and I'll get it edited as what I want to. But what I really don't like very much is I'll get a guy and say, hey, I'm in town. I want to have a drink with you. Let's meet up. And we meet up and they say, my God, have I got a story for you about this girl I met 2 years ago? So here's what happened. And they start to go on with this very, very long story. And I don't want to hear it. I mean, I've been listening to these stories for over 5 years. I'm not trying to be rude, but I've actually had to say to some guys, look, I'm not trying to be rude, but I don't really want to hear this. If you want me to read it out, get it down. And they'll say like, oh, I'm not really a person who likes to tell stories. I haven't got the time to put it in an email. And I'm like, well, let's talk about something else. Because it gets really boring. It's like when I used to, if I'd meet somebody who's come out here and they haven't been coming out to Thailand long. And if you can relate to this, if you live here or if you've been coming out here for a long time, it gets to the point when you hear stories about girls, it just gets so boring. Like I've met viewers who haven't been out here very often. I'm not out to insult anyone. I'm just being really honest with you. Okay. So I've met viewers who, they've only been out here a couple of times and they do the whole Nana thing, the therme, they take a short time or they'll stay out all night with a girl and it's great. It's exciting. And they've only just started doing that. And they want to meet for lunch the next day, and I meet them and I say, oh, Jesus, I went to this bar last night and there was this hottie and this is what she said and this happened. And then, so I left her and I went to this other bar and I had 2, one on each arm. And, then I went out and it's like, oh, God, yawn, change the subject. It does get like that. I'm sure there's people who can relate to that. I mean, you don't mind if somebody just says, oh, yeah, I went to Therme last night, picked up a real hot girl and, yeah, we had a good time and then move on. But, some guys they'll tell you their whole itinerary of the night, and it's like just girls and what they did and what she did. And, it's like remember the movie Groundhog Day? It's like that, actually. Okay, Dave, I missed one there. Hang on. Adrian, have you been to Father Ted's Irish Bar in town, Soy 6, lovely Thai in Frankfurt? I went there with a viewer when I'm visited here. I haven't been here this time. I'll be honest with you, I tend to stay out of those sort of places down here because I'm on a budget, not a tight budget, but the expat kind of chain restaurants tend to be much pricier. And I'm paying for 2 people, right, with my girlfriend. So if I go out to a Thai restaurant and we have, I like a dish called hoi lai. It's like little baby shells. They stir fry it in chili and we might have a plate of rice between us and stir-fried vegetables and something. I'll have a beer with the dinner. 300 baht for the two of us. Okay. If I go out to somewhere, I want. I'm not going to say that specific bar, but if I go out to like a Western chain style hotel, you know, the sort of places I mean, places like Hooters, for instance, or there isn't a Hooters here, but something like that, you know, with a drink and we have a meal each. Okay, the food is top notch. You know, I went to one of these chain restaurants for a Sunday lunch for the first time on 94. I won't mention. I'm sure you can guess where it is. A fairly new place. I had a Sunday roast lunch. It was 299 baht. It was excellent. It was the best Sunday roast I've ever had down here. Well, I'll tell you where it is because I'm talking nicely about it. It was Scruffy Murphy's. Never been in there before. I don't go in there to drink because it's not my sort of place. But I went in there for a roast on a Sunday. And I've had a few around town, which were okay. But the one I met a friend then. We had a roast dinner. This was several months ago. And it was really, really good. And I was full. I couldn't, you know, it was bloated. But in answer to your question, I don't. The food's good in these places and they're air conditioned and all the rest of it. But I didn't move out to Thailand to spend my time in Western style bars. I could do that in the UK. Occasionally, if I want a very, very good Western meal, I might go into a pub like that. The one I used to frequent quite often was the Red Lion on Soy 13. Because my girlfriend used to work late in the hospital some nights. She wouldn't get back till 9:30, 10. And I'd finished my day by about 4. I'd go and have a walk in Benjakitti Park for an hour. Good long walk. I miss Benjakitti Park. And then I'd come back, have a quick shower. 6 o'clock. I wasn't really hungry. I ate a bit later. And at 6 o'clock, I'm like, well, she's not going to be home till 9:30. What do I do? And I used to go to the Red Lion most nights because they did a happy hour up until 7 where you could get a pint of, I used to drink Tiger beer, okay? A pint. A nice cold pint for 99 baht, and in Bangkok that's great value. You know, some of the bars are charging 180 baht for a small Heineken bottle. You know, I don't go in them sort of places. And the girls in the Red Line were great. You know, I used to always give them a bit of a tip, 50 baht, something like that. And what they used to do to me, they used to come up to me at 7 and they said, look, minute to go. Do you want to? And I'd say, yeah, get me another 2 in. And what I'd do, I'd pay for the 2. So they rang through the register as 2 beers sold at happy hour. But then when I was ready, it could be 8 o'clock. I said, I'll have that second one now. I'll have the first one. So I had a good night for 99, you know, 99 baht a pint. But a lot of these kind of bars, some of them do good happy hours. You know, I used to go to Tilak Bar and Soy Cowboy. They did a happy hour, similar sort of thing. So when it's a happy hour, it is good value. I used to go to the Billabong Bar in Pattaya on Soy Bacau. They have a live band there, a few freelancers in there. But what they do is they do buy one beer, get one free. So even though I think it was 90 baht or 100, I think it was 120 baht, I can't remember, but you got a second beer. So that was quite clever on their side because that ensured you're not going to go in there and keep one beer all night sort of thing. It was a guaranteed sale of 2 beers. So although the price, if it had been a single beer, was slightly high, it was very much reduced from the customer's point of view because he got 2 beers and we'd go there quite often. Dave, I went to Pattaya lots in the 90s. Last went 2006. Now lived in Nambia, is it? For last 10 years, retired. Love it here. But thinking of a holiday in Thailand with my Nambian wife. Sorry for my ignorance, but I don't even know where Nambia is. Is it Gambia? Did you mean to write Gambia? Wife a bit later this year. I don't blame you leaving the UK. So that's very good. You should come and have a visit. Now, I'm not one of those guys who makes videos about how bad the UK is. Okay, I know I've seen guys who come over here and, you know, they're just constantly slating the UK about how bad it is. And yeah, it has gone downhill up to a point. I mean, I don't do politics, but I think the present government at the moment are the worst we've ever had. Gutless, spineless, liars, cheats, you name it, they are it. Mass immigration, it's, you know, you could say it's racist, but it is, they've lost control of the borders. And, you know, I just don't want to go back there. You know, I just don't want to go back. I've in the video that I've released to members today in there, I talk about having a B plan if you come to Thailand to live, because you never know what's going to happen. I'm in my 4th year. I've never had any problems. I could get a knock at the door tomorrow and they could say, right, we're deporting you for whatever reason. I don't think it's going to happen. We wouldn't be in this house, but you know, you don't know. And my B plan is Cambodia, Siem Reap. And I talk about this in the video. So, you know, you've got to have a backup plan. Why am I telling you about that? What were we talking about there? Dave, I like your blogs. Interesting. Thank you very much, Dave. I'm kind of waking up a bit now. If you joined me at the beginning of the stream, I was really hungover, and I was saying that normally by about mid-morning it's gone and back to normal and everything. but it was horrendous today. And when I started the stream over an hour ago now, I just felt like shit, really shit. I nearly cancelled it because I felt bad, but I've drank what I'm going to have to go and get my bottle of orange squash out the fridge because that's not going to last me now unless I finish the stream right now. And I'm not going to. But yeah, I'm definitely going to have to get my bottle of orange squash. What I do, I'm drinking water now and I drink it in the bedroom. I drink a lot of water at night. Like I wake up at 4 a.m, thirsty, I'll have a drink. Always wake up at 4, go for a pee and have a drink of water. That helps with a headache, with the hangovers, okay? What I do, I buy Robinson's orange squash. It's sugar-free. I get it from Villa at the moment. It's buy one, get one free. So I bought 3 bottles. I ended up with 6 bottles, 159 baht for 2 bottles, basically. And what I do, I've got a big empty bottle of water and I'll fill it that much with Robinson's orange squash. I fill that up with water. So I've got a big bottle filled up. It's no sugar in it, and it's very refreshing. You know, when I first got here, I used to go to 7-Eleven and stack up on Coke Zeros and sugar-free Singer lime drink and stuff like that. All carbonated, you know, 30 baht, 40 baht a can. It's much better now. I drink water as well, but when I fancy something, when I really want to have a nice cold drink, what I'll do, you might want to think about this if you move to Thailand one day, or even if you come here on holiday, buy yourself some soda water. They're 10 baht each, as opposed to 30 or 40, stick them in your fridge, get a bottle of some cordial, lime cordial, barley water, whatever you drink. Just happens that I'm orange squash. What I do is I'll get a pint glass, I'll put a couple of blocks of ice in the bottom, some orange squash, and instead of water, I put in a soda water, nice carbonated drink. It's very refreshing, very cheap and easy to do. Kerry, how are you doing? Hi, Peter. Saw your video on Facebook saying that you were going to stop showing your girlfriend on camera. I hope not. She's really good. Laughed when she was eating durian outside and said, I died tomorrow. Okay, just before I forget, I met a very nice guy last night. Where was it, last night or the night before? A guy called Larry. He's gone back to Australia. So if you watch this on a rerun, Larry, it was great meeting you, you and your lovely girlfriend. I presume it was your girlfriend. And he's kind of sprung up on me there, but it was good, nice talking to you. I hope you had a safe flight back to Australia, okay? Now, Kerry, so what I actually said is that I wouldn't put her face on camera because I get a lot of abuse. I get a lot of abuse on Facebook. I've got a Facebook account, and all I upload on Facebook is day-to-day life, living here. So I might be, whatever I'm doing, like yesterday, I changed 3 taps in the garden because the taps they put on the outside, there's 3 taps, one on each side of the house, one at the back. There's 4 taps, one at the front. And I'd already changed one, but the taps have got like a little, the hose pipe doesn't hold onto it. You know, even if you put a Jubilee clip on, tighten it up. A Jubilee clip is a kind of a clip. If you don't know what it is, you put it over the hose pipe and it's got a screw in it. It will tighten up with a screwdriver. And I'd be watering the grass and it'd come off. So I went to Mr. DIY. I bought the 75 baht each. I'd done one already. So I bought 3 taps, drained the water system down, got the white tape and took the old taps off, put the new ones on, and it's great. They've got long spout on them now and they're ribbed, you know, so it can really grip the hose pipe. And the one I did a month ago, it's never come off. So I made a video about it, you know, where I got it, what I did, how I did it. I might make a video about my grass. You know, it sounds boring, but people watch, you know, because I moved in when there was turf laid down. I wasn't living here for a month and the grass was nearly dead. And I've revitalized it, as it were, put down seed, I put down top. So I videoed that. My girlfriend's planted trees and plants. I videoed that. Things that we do in the house. You know, we've got a new cooker hood fitted. We've got a canopy going over the front. I'll video that. It's just day-to-day living. It's nothing exciting. And if somebody doesn't like it, they just have to think, oh, this is boring, and move on to the next channel. But I get, like a guy left a comment on there this morning, and it said a guy from Lancaster in the UK obviously loves himself, because I went over to it. He left. This guy is a boring twat. That's what he said, right? So I went over to look at his profile, and of course, as always, he's locked his Facebook profile. He's one of those, he can give it out, but he can't take it. And all his posts was like, I forget his name, just say it was James. James has changed his profile picture. And then it'd be another picture of him underneath, you know, giving this pose. And you can tell he's one of these guys who just loves himself. But I do get a lot of abuse on Facebook for some reason. I don't know. I don't get it on YouTube. I get the odd nasty message. It's more of a nasty message I'll get on YouTube. But it's filtered a lot better on YouTube. Facebook doesn't seem to use any filtering. And I get some really, really horrible, nasty evil people on Facebook, you know, the things they say. And with what I said about my girlfriend, I'll just stick that back up there for a minute, Kerry. Originally, she didn't want to be on camera because we discussed it. And a lot of YouTubers, they put their girlfriend on film. And she's a really nice girl, you know. She works in a hospital. She's never been exposed to the whole Farang thing here in Thailand. She was actually shocked when she came to Nana for the first time, not Nana Plaza, Nana BTS, to see so many foreigners, and especially in Pattaya. So she's a regular Thai woman, you know, and I don't want her. You know, she's been on the BTS coming to see me in Bangkok, and you know, Chinese guy went up to her, spoke a bit of English. Oh, you work in a hospital, let's go for coffee and all this sort of thing. I don't want to show her face because I just don't want to open her up to abuse, you know, because somebody who doesn't like me, if they recognize her and connect the dots, they can say something to her, you know, and I don't want her to get upset because of me. So what I decided to do was, what we both discussed is, we'll put her on camera from behind and aside. So if she's doing something in the garden, people can say, oh, she's doing a bit of gardening, but I'm not going to show her face, you know. And that's what we agreed to do, because there are nasty people out there. There is. That's that done and dusted. Right, I'll have to jump up and get my orange in a minute. This Larry, when he met my girlfriend, he said to her, he said, oh, you got to stay on camera, he said, and he's wide her, and they had a little chat and everything. One of the reasons, before I moved out, this is a totally true story, right? Hand on heart, you might not believe this, but this is true. One of the reasons that I didn't move to Jomtien, because Jomtien was actually my first choice to move out of Bangkok, because I like Jomtien. What I like about Jomtien is a nice walking path, you know, because I like walking. I can't walk around here. There's the soy dogs, and, you know, we have to go off somewhere. But what I like about Jomtien, I mean, you've got the 7-Elevens there. There's, you know, it's close to Pattaya. You've got that nice walk. But the reason I never, because when we stayed there a few times in hotels, my girlfriend had experience. She'd be in 7-Eleven, and a guy's actually come up to her, right? He doesn't know who she is. She's in there just buying something for the room. And she had a guy come up to her in Jomtien one evening, and he said, how much for a short time? Right? Because it's Pattaya, he just assumed everybody was, and she was like, what? You know, go away, you creep, sort of thing, you know. Or, you know, she's had guys in Jomtien come up and say, can I get your line ID? Or what's your line ID? And I just don't want to expose her to that. You know, you don't get that in Hua Hin. So that's why we ended up here in the end. Right. Okay, JC, it says cardless transaction. Thank you for correcting me. You are absolutely right, of course. You are. Right, Ray, I have Charles, I can't pronounce, Schwab, is it? Card with reimburses my fees, and Krungside Bank has no fees. Okay, well, I would check on Krungside Bank having no fees, because all banks here, if you have a card and account in that town and you use the ATM in that, your ATM card in that town, there's no charges. But for instance, I've got a Bangkok bank, and if I use the ATM card here in Hua Hin, it's a 20 baht charge. The same with K Bank, the same with SBC Bank. So I can't imagine Krungside Bank, if you're using a Krungside bank ATM card and you use it in another part of Thailand, I can't imagine there wouldn't be any fee. I'd check that if I was you. AS Declar, is it true that some Thai banks are holding a minimum balance to keep your account active? No, something like 2,000 to 3,000 baht. I can't imagine it's true, as some Thais carry lower balances, I wonder. Okay, first of all, no, that isn't true. And secondly, they treat Thai people differently to they treat Farangs. Okay, we're not all the same. Doesn't matter how long I'm here. If I get the yellow book, if I get the pink ID, I'm living with a Thai girl, I've been here. I'm never going to be a Thai. Okay, I'm always going to be what they class as an alien. Okay, when we moved into this house, my girlfriend had to go to immigration and sign a declaration and fill out a form to say I have an alien living in my house. You know, spaceship parked out the back. No, it's not true. What would happen is, I suppose, after a while, if there's no money in it or very little, it would become dormant. But I've never ever heard of a bank saying you have to have a minimum amount. The only time you need minimum amounts in the bank is if you're going for a retirement visa or a marriage visa, and they're quite high amounts. They stipulate how much you have to have in there. People say it's 800,000 for a retirement visa, you have to have 800,000 in the account 4 months before you go for the retirement visa, and 2 months after you got the retirement visa, then you can drain it down to 400,000. People think you can't touch it. You can. That's your money. It'll always be your money, you know. Same with the marriage visa, it's 400,000, you know. So that's when they stipulate, and that's not the bank stipulating it, it's the immigration. As far as a regular transactionals go, no, there's no. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. Jasaga, don't forget your yearly tax if you're a resident visa, such as an easy process, loads of tax deductibles. Okay. I don't really like to talk about tax too much on here because there's so many online lawyers have YouTube channels and they're the experts, aren't they? Pat Beeman, is it? Can you rent something like what you are living in, and what do you think it would cost? Yeah, absolutely. There's a Russian guy lives in our street. There's only two. Belarus, that's Russia, isn't it? Forgive my ignorance. Belarus, is that Russia? So he's a really nice guy. When I moved in, the real estater, let me just hold that thought. Let me just get my, I've got to move him out the door now. Let me get my bottle of orange squash. I'm getting a dry throat again. Out of the way, move. Come on. Yeah. There we are. Singer water turned orange. Let me have a quick swig of this. You know, I was saying that I will talk about this in a minute, but I was talking about Thai girls the other week. I said, if you get a good Thai girl, she won't let you do anything. I was taking the wheel off my car. I put this on Facebook, not on YouTube. And she grabbed the ratchet out of my hand. She wouldn't give me it back. She got down, squatted down. She was on the nuts, you know, on the raising the car. What do you call it? The jack, you know. I was like, get out of the way. Let me do that. And she's like, no, you're old. I was like, I'm 66, not 106. And she's jacking up. She's undoing the lug nuts and that. You know, she won't let me carry in the big bottles of water. I try to do it when she's not here. You know, if the machine runs out of water, if she sees me, she's like, grabs it. She won't let me carry shopping. In fact, when I lived in Soya, it was embarrassing. You know, we go to 7-Eleven, I get a whole bunch of stuff, maybe 3 or 4 bags. She's got one on each shoulder, one in each hand, you know, and I'd go to get them and she'd swing away. And, you know, a bunch of foreign women would be walking up the street. They'd see me with her with nothing, hands in pocket, and they'd look at me like, you know, I don't say the word. Okay. So the reason for telling you that story is I used to make this up myself, and now I can't, because every time it goes down, it's full up magically. It's like I've got a magic fridge that fills it up. Why? Because before she goes to work, she checks it and she fills it up before she goes to work. Right. Okay. Back to your question. Yeah. Okay. So it's all about location, as always. So I know how much he's paying over there. Well, I've seen them advertised. So if you've watched the videos of my house, so you know it's a nice house, but the location is out of town. So you'd pay about 12,000 a month for this house in this area, because it's a Thai neighborhood. It's a Thai village. There isn't a lot going on around here. There's a few restaurants and bars locally 2 or 3 kilometers away. Now, if you had the same thing in town, for something like this, you'd be paying minimum 30,000 baht a month. I've got a friend who's got a villa with a swimming pool that's near the main immigration on 88. He's paying 30,000 baht a month for that. But then again, he's about 5 to 6 kilometers out of town. So it's all on location. You can get a good idea if you look at the estate agents. What do they call them in America? You don't call them estate agents, do you? Real estate agents. You know, there's some websites out there you can get an idea. But yeah, you can definitely find stuff to rent like this. The only reason I'm paying the mortgage, people call me a simp, and you know, she's going to move a Thai boyfriend in and all, you know, the normal rubbish you get. But the only reason I'm paying the mortgage for a number of reasons. Firstly, she's my full-time Thai girlfriend, and you know, we're very close with each other. Okay. The main reason, I'm stuttering here. The main reason is because when I lived in Bangkok, I was paying 21,000 baht a month in rent. Okay. I moved down here and I was prepared to pay that again to rent a house or a condominium or an apartment in town. And I suddenly had a brainwave. She's got a good job. I thought, well, why don't you try and get a mortgage on a house? That way, instead of me paying rent to some random landlord that we'll never see again and we can't make changes and he can boot us out anytime he wants to, if we can get a mortgage before you finish the hospital, then that's your house. Okay. I haven't put in 2 million, 300 million, 4 million. Some guys, you know, they get ripped off by their girlfriends, mainly bar girls. This is, you know. So she went for the mortgage and she got a mortgage, small mortgage. She got 2,400,000, I think it was. Repayment is this year 11,000 a month, next year 12,000, next year after that it'll be 13,000. Then she goes back and renegotiates another 3 years. Okay. But I pay 1,000 baht more than the mortgage because that makes her look like a very good customer. You know how it is in Thailand. You pay more than what you need to. They look at you kind of like VIP status. And that's the only reason I pay the mortgage, because it's cheaper than rent. It's like renting, but she's got the asset, hasn't she? So People say to me, what would happen if it all went wrong? Well, it's simple, isn't it? I'd pack my case, I'd take all my laptop and everything I've got, and I'd rent an apartment in Hua Hin itself. What would I have lost? I would have lost about £3,000. I've paid for things. She pays for things, So I'm certainly not a simp. If I am, not for that reason. Maybe I'm a simp, not for paying rent. Right, Ricardo, I really wish the bar girls kept card readers in their bags, or maybe get a QR code tattoo so much easier than carrying cash. I don't know if you're serious there, but I remember I was watching a TikToker. He said he was sitting next to a Korean guy in Nana Plaza, and he was like, how much to the girl? And she got a calculator. She's like, funny. Wes, how you doing? Good day, mate, from Ken. Just watching AFL Geelong versus North Melbourne at Raffia's Sports Bar. Okay, have a beer on me. I woke up with a hangover this morning, Wes. I'm just about getting over it now, thankfully. I bet it's hot up there in Hua Hin as well, isn't it? Josh, hi from Toronto, Canada. How you doing, Josh? Nice to see you in the stream. A few people from Facebook on today. Philip, hi there from sunny Manchester. Hi, Philip. Dave Gregory, Namimba, is next to Angola, South Africa. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. Sorry about my ignorance. I've been all over the world. I worked for a hotel chain, but I've never been to that part of the world. The nearest I did go to one. I was going to say assignment, but I'm not James Bond, am I? I did go to one hotel in Africa, but that was what they used to call Zaire. I was in a city called Kinshasa. Mobutu was in power at the time, and that's the only time. Dave Gregory. Okay. A lot of people telling me where it is now. Okay, thank you for that. Mark, hello. Been living in Bangkok for 6 months now. Left the US with my husband, who's from Bangkok. Glad to get out of there. Yeah, it's the same, Mark. So I'm confused whether you're female. You must be female, right? Because your name Mark, but it says I've been in Bangkok for 6 months now. Left the US with my husband. So you must be on his account, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, well, okay. It doesn't matter if you're female or male, but if you're female, it's always good to have ladies in. Yeah, I mean, it's rubbish, isn't it? I mean, Europe, America, even the Australians moan to me now. Not whining, moaning, but we have conversation. It's like we all say the same thing. It's just gone downhill. Derek, Peter, you are rambling early dementia. Okay. If you don't like it, there's a door. Don't let it hit you on your way out. Dave, these haters, I think these guys are not happy people generally. They don't like themselves, which is their real problem. That's a real coincidence, you leaving that comment right after Himmler. I'm just trying to work out if I've seen him in the stream or not before. My memory is getting bad. I definitely don't have them. On a serious note, I don't have dementia because I actually went for a dementia test last year in hospital. I thought I was getting dementia because my mother suffers from it. When you have a YouTube channel, it's very difficult to do a live stream and just sit there and not say anything. I don't think people would stay and watch for very long. So you do need to ramble. But I had a dementia test and it was, I was all good. Okay, Gerald Chan, don't care about these kind of keyboard warriors. You are doing great. Good job. Keep up. I don't worry, Gerald, but maybe I talk about them too much. People say, oh, you go on about them too much. You should just delete and block. But I don't want to just let them off the hook so easy. You know, what I do is if somebody leaves me a Facebook comment, I go in and I challenge them. You know, I'll go on. I went onto one guy's account, a Facebook page. He'd wrote a really nasty piece of text on an innocent video. I made a video about my dog or something like that. Just an everyday, this is what I'm doing today. And he went on there and he was like, he really put some thought into being really nasty. It was a nasty text, one of the nastiest I've ever seen. So I thought, oh, blimey. So I copied and pasted I copied what he'd written because it was so nasty. I opened his Facebook page and it wasn't locked. He had a few followers and he just put up a post about his, whatever it was, I can't remember what it was. He'd done a post, he'd been fishing or something, right? And he'd done a post about he'd caught some fish and everything. And you could leave comments. So I left a comment on his post, which had maybe a couple of hundred followers. And I said, this guy that you're following, this is the kind of comments that he leaves on other Facebook channels. And I put his comment on there. I went back 45 minutes later to check it, to see what comments were there. He'd removed it, you know. I never heard from him again. So there's a lot of people out there who, you know, they can give it, but they can't take it. I like that. I'll just leave that there for a second. Oh, she's mixed that a bit strong. I better not moan though. It's another thing that always amazes me, like people take the trouble to tell you how boring you are or how bad you are or how silly your videos are. I mean, when I watch YouTube, sometimes I'll come across a YouTube, well, a lot of time I'll look at a YouTube video, 5 seconds and I think, oh, this is no good. And I move on. I don't stop and create a message and tell the guy how boring it is. What's the point? Ray, I had Bangkok Bank, and when they froze my account, I got Krungside Bank, and they said no ATM fees all over Thailand. Fair enough. I didn't know that. Nice to know. I was lucky. My Bangkok Bank didn't get frozen. It would have done, but I opened it in, well, the agent at the time opened it in Pattaya for me, and I happened to go down on Pattaya, and this was months before it actually happened. And I went into the bank and I just said, look, I want to update my details. I'm now on a this is the first year. I'm now on a retirement visa. Back then, here's my retirement visa. This is where my permanent address is. Here's a lease. And she did put it all in the computer. And I never had an issue. A lot of people did. Oh, Mark. Okay. All right. I understand exactly the situation. I'm not going to say anything more now because I don't want to dig the hole any deeper for myself. Okay, sorry about that. Right, I thought that said something else there. Does your girlfriend cook? Not very often, and I'll tell you why. Not because she's lazy, but it's not worth it. It's just so cheap. The only time we really cook, I cook, and it's foreign food. Like I'll make spaghetti bolognese or a lasagna or even a roast. I made a roast in my apartment before. Very nice. I even made my own Yorkshire puddings with the batter. I made the batter mix, got the recipe off my friend Simon. It's not worth it for her because if she when she comes out of the hospital, you know what it's like in Thailand? All these little stores, they set up in places where they're likely to make money. And outside a hospital, there's nurses and doctors coming and going all day. So there's a lot of food stores outside the hospital. So when she comes home, if she knows she's going to have some dinner. Normally we go out together somewhere, right? I've been going to the Klansman lately. That's about halfway between here and town. Good little bar. Met Paul, the owner, the other night. Nice guy. So yeah, she'll come out, and if she knows we're not going out and she's going to eat food, she's Thai. She wants some Thai food. She'll get herself some noodles and pork, something like that. 45, 50 baht. What's the point in, putting the gas on and having the rice for 20 minutes and all the rest of it? So yeah, she kept, when we were in Bangkok, but she's always worked full time, so she's always tired when she comes home. Thankfully, this is our last. She was supposed to be finished now, but they wanted to stay on for another month to train some staff, and she agreed, and I'm not happy about it, but at the end of the day, it's only a month, isn't it? Nathan, hi, I'm in Pattaya here, 2 years, looking to move to Hua Hin in August. I'm 55 years old, worried, maybe too quiet for me. What do you think? It's certainly a lot quieter than Pattaya. There's plenty to do here. I think if you're a single guy here, it could be boring. A lot of the guys here in Hua Hin, there's a big expat community here, big expat. Mainly, there's a lot of Dutch and Swiss and, that part of the world. And there's Americans and English and everything. But most of the expats who are here, I think a lot of them have had businesses or they've done quite well because they live in nice gated communities, swimming pool and all that sort of thing. A lot of them come here like I did with a Thai girl, and they have full-time Thai partners. Now, it's not exciting like Pattaya, but you don't have all the negative points of Pattaya that I was talking about earlier. The rubbish, the smells, the gangs, the fights, all that. You don't have none of that, okay, here. There's lots of bars, girly bars as well. There's a lot of them here. There's no go-go bars. There's some great restaurants, some very good, lots of international restaurants, lots of Thai restaurants. It's, like I said, big beer, 65 baht. There's beautiful beaches. You get yourself a car or a small scooter or something, 20 minutes, half an hour away, you're in paradise. You're on a beach. It's like you've died and gone to heaven. Hua Hin hasn't got the best beach in the world, but you move down the coast a little bit. It's very nice. I would suggest you come here for a week or two, maybe even longer, and just see what you think of it. It helps a lot if you have transport here because taxis are not so available like they are in Pattaya. They do have them. You've got Grab. Maybe it's improved now. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe it's improved because they didn't have Grab when I first came here. James, thank you very much for that. Mark again. Been watching Thai TV series for 6 years or so. even before moving to Bangkok to learn Thai. Okay, yeah, that's it. That's one of the things I did for a while. I'd watch a Thai movie if it had subtitles, but then I found some of them quite boring. I couldn't really get into them, but everybody does it differently. Michael, hi Peter, great chat. Do Thai catfish to eat on fishermen? I think it's trying to say do catch fish to. So I kind of half understand your question. So you can actually rent a rod and a reel and bait and everything on the Hua Hin fishing pool. If you just want to go down for an evening's fishing, but you don't want to buy all the gear, you can rent it. I don't know how much it is. It's cheap, right? But from what I've seen, when I've been eating there or drinking there, there's a few people fishing, probably quite a lot of people fishing, actually. You got mainly Thais, a few foreigners. They seem to catch one particular fish. It's only about that size. And when they leave, they tend to have like a half a bucket of these fish. I've never seen them land anything bigger than say 4 inches, 3 inches. They all seem to be little fish they pick up. And I mean, catfish are massive. I've seen them. I've been sitting in restaurants, in Khon Kaen in particular. Actually, I was in a restaurant in Khon Kaen. It was situated on a lake, and you throw in a few bits of rice or something, and these catfish come up, and mouths like that. They're huge, about a yard long. Some of them. Macmillan Nurse, how you doing? Hey, Peter, I'm sitting here with my friend who is a doctor. Don't listen to these YouTube doctors. You speak too much in depth about recent events to have dementia, just jealous people. Well, you know what? It's not being paranoid. What it is, my mother got very bad dementia when she was 76. I didn't find my mother till I was 50. She was Irish. I was adopted. You know what it was like in the old days, okay? But I met her, and I went down to see her, and she was about 72 when I met her. And she was like a bag of beans. She'd walk her dogs on Hampstead Heath. I'd go with her. She'd joke. The Irish humor. And she was like sharp as a knife. And within, I'd say, a year and a half, she went from that to not even knowing who I was. And she'd say things like, I won't say the name, but her husband, not my father, but he's coming home for his dinner soon, and he'd been dead for a few years. So I thought, well, okay. And I was starting to get people were saying to me, your memory's really getting bad. Friends. And I thought, I'll go for a dementia test just to find out. And what they do, they ask you 30 questions, and I got all 30 of them right. One of them is, I've said this before, one of the questions is, she'll say, right, I'm going to name 3 items, and I'll ask you what they are later. And she'll say something like a spoon, TV, horse. And then she'll ask you 4 or 5 questions, and they say, what were the 3 items I told you? And I remembered. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not too worried about it. But you're right. I mean, people say things. I get people come on here and say, oh, the sound's gone, or there's no picture, because they want to see me panic. And I know it's not true, because if the sound or the picture goes, lots of people leave the comment. So if it's one guy leaves that comment, I know it's BS, The Gormless Twit, do you ever feel you miss living in the big city? I don't miss living in the big city. There's certain aspects I miss about it. As I said, I miss Benji Kitty Park. I miss being very close to everything, because obviously here with the budget we had for the house, if I want to go into town, it's a half an hour on that ADV. I love riding my ADV, but I miss being able to walk across to the end of the street and across the road. I'm in the Red Lion. If I did want to go to Soy Cowboy, which wasn't very often, but if I did, I miss that. The thing I missed more than anything was I do meet viewers down here, but it's not very many now, because for me to get into town and come back's an hour. But in when I lived in Soi 8 in Bangkok, it was so easy. Somebody said, I'm in town, let's have lunch. And I'd say, let's meet in Det 5. It's a good, and it's a decent restaurant, Thai restaurant outside, but it's right next to my apartment virtually. So if I was doing something edited, and when you say meet at 12:30, I'd look, 5 minutes time, I'm going to meet him. I'll go down, walk down there. We'd have lunch. I'll go back up. It was so easy. I miss meeting viewers and subscribers. That was good. I met a lot of interesting people in Bangkok. It's amazing, really. I mean, I've said this story before. You don't know who's watching your channel. You assume when you have a YouTube channel or a Facebook page, you assume the people who are actually watching you and listening to you assume that they're like you. They were just bog standard jobs. And I've told this story many, many times. I was in Det 5 talking to an American. He's actually, I think he's Hawaiian, not Chinese, something like that. He looks kind of Asian. Okay, and we're just talking away, and he didn't look that old, actually, about 40 something, and we're talking, real nice guy. And we're having lunch in Det 5, and he said, I said, hang on. That's the alcohol being flushed out now. Lucky I had this in the fridge. And I said, if you don't mind me asking, what do you do for a living? And he wasn't bullshitting. You can tell when people are bullshitting, right? I said, what do you do for a living? And he said, oh, I'm a judge in California. And I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah. So he's, he's sending people to jail, and he's come to Bangkok. Another guy I was talking to me actually bought me a bag of presents. Couldn't believe it. Come with his wife, very charming woman, Thai wife. And he said, oh, I wanted to meet you for a long time. He said, I bought you a little gift pack then. I was like, a bit embarrassed because he's very generous, right? There's a book in there about some subject that I said I'd like, the bottle of shoulder monkey I used to drink, whiskey, and a big bar of Cadbury's milk chocolate, which my girlfriend got through. But again, he was a prison guard in the Maze prison, in Ireland. Let me just tell my friend I'm still on the stream. So there we go. Send it to him. Yeah, he was a prison guard in the Maze. Now, if you know the Maze, a famous prison, 38 Republican prisoners broke out of there. It was famous for, you can look it up. And the people you meet, it's like a saying, they say you can't tell a book by its cover. It's true. I met some very interesting people, like the guy who offered to pay 100 baht towards my lunch. Let's not go there. Okay, Jazaga. I know I'm saying that wrong. I lived in Hua Hin for 3 months and loved it. It was quiet when I wanted. I had no problem meeting nice women. You'll need a scooter, or a car. Yeah. It's not for everybody. If a young guy like some Monga comes out here, it wouldn't be for him, definitely. But if you're a guy and you want to spend some time out here, a month, 3 months out here, and occasionally you want to go out and have a few beers, talk to the ladies, maybe take it a bit further than that, you enjoy the beach and a couple of good malls and stuff. It's a nice place. Another Mona here. Look, GR, could you drink your juice out of a glass? It looks so primitive drinking out of a bottle. I'll tell you what I'll do, just for you. Look, I don't have a glass, but I'll put a napkin on, okay? And I'll have another one, right? This is just for you, moaning, whining. There we go. I hope that improved it. So you know what I was talking about, Facebook, the sort of comments you get on there and the sort of people you get on there. This is what I'm talking about. I'm sitting here doing a live stream, and because I run out of water, I had to grab this bottle of orange, and I'm having a few swigs of it. Who doesn't drink out of a bottle occasionally? And here's this guy. The most important thing in his life is that I'm not using a glass. I mean, it's pathetic, isn't it? Right. Let me know what you think. Hua Hin refurbishing HH Singapore soon. Okay. Let me put that up again. I don't actually know what you mean. You said Hua Hin Airport refurbishing. Oh, okay, I got you. Hua Hin to Singapore. Okay, all right. So, yeah, they're going to bring in they want to promote Hua Hin, get more people here. I like it as it is now, but like I say, I'm just being selfish. Do you find the midday heat oppressive? Well, I talked about this at the beginning of the stream. I'll just say very, very quickly. It's not the midday heat right now. It's all day. It's extremely hot. This is the hottest I've ever been. This is my 4th year, and it wasn't like this in April last year, the year before that. It's so hot. I'm repeating myself now. It's so hot that I cannot have a shower in the daytime because 1,000-litre water tank out the back. If I have a shower, it burns me. I can't use the bum gun. By about 7:30, without turning the shower on, it's warm, but you can do it. It's just I've got the aircon on all the time. I never had the aircon on. It's really hot, and I feel sorry for Binto. When he's in here with the aircon, he falls asleep because he can't get any rest out there. It's gotten to the point where we've put his cage in the bedroom. He's got 2 cages, one for the car and one. He has to go in a cage at night because he's teething and he bites everything. So we have to have him in the cage at night. But we used to leave him in the lounge with a fan on him, sweeping fan. But it's so hot now. I walked out of here to get this orange. It was literally like walking into an oven, But what we've done, he was just so uncomfortable. We've taken the smaller cage and we've put it against the wall, quite far from the bed. It's not a small room, and he sleeps in there now. And he's, I wake up and I look, and he's there with his legs in the eye, right, really deep sleep, So he sleeps with us in the bedroom now. Joel, hello from Chicago. Enjoy your feedback always. Thank you, Joel. Jazga again. Thailand, live Spanish style, sleep in the heat. I mean, look, a lot of people, even Thai people, I said this before. A lot of people won't go out in the afternoon in Bangkok. I've got a friend, well, several friends. They just will not. what they do is they maybe make some food at home, have a sandwich, or they'll go out a bit earlier. They're normally back home by 12:30, 1 o'clock latest. And they won't go out again until 4:30, 5 o'clock. And he's got a Thai girlfriend. She's the same. She won't go out in the afternoon. Michael, thanks for the comments. Are there good gyms with swimming pools, saunas, spas, etc.? What's the monthly prices? Okay, yes, there is. I mean, there's a gym near me. I joined it for a month. I haven't been there for a while, but I intend to go back there. This is out of town, this gym, but it's a very well-appointed gym. It's got a lot of equipment in there. I joined for a month. It's expensive if you join for only a month, but you don't have to sign up for a contract. I paid 1,300 baht for the month, okay? If you join for a year, I forget what the yearly price was, but the 4 month, you could join for 4 months. I think it was 4,500 baht, and a year would be, I don't know. You're going to pay, they're not cheap. You're going to pay a couple of thousand baht. There's a lot of independent freestanding gyms around. Some are not air conditioned. I wouldn't want to go to one of them, but there is a lot of gyms everywhere. And there's a lot of gyms in the hotels, of course, that you can join. They let outside people join. Not as expensive as Bangkok, and some very, very good gyms. That's what I'll put that up in a sec. Another thing I miss about Bangkok is my apartment building had a swimming pool on the roof that used to have the sun on it all day. And I used to go up there about 6 when the sun went down, very quiet, very long swimming pool. And I used to do about 12 lengths in it. And it was so refreshing at the end of a hot day, you know, and I don't have a swimming pool here. I miss that. Ronald, regarding dementia, it's not when you have forgotten where you put your car keys. It's when you don't know what the car keys are for. Bloody hell. I hope it never gets that bad. Check ban. I got to go now, Peter. And I had four beers at the MEDEA festival yesterday here in Czech Republic, and I'm suffering today. I only drink 3 or 4 times a year, so I'm stammering for it. Have a great week. You and me both, check ban. Thank you very much. Even before I put this up, I'm guessing this is Macmillan Nurse. Let me see. Am I right? Yes, I am. Okay. Thank you for the 39.99 SAR. I'll put that up when I get to it. I don't want to lose my place. Very generous as always. How long we've been going now? I've got to be in town at 5 o'clock with my car. It's now coming up to 3 o'clock, so I'll go for a while longer. Just coming up for 2 hours now. Okay. Thank you. It's actually 149 watching. I get it live on the stream. When somebody drops out, somebody's in. I think yours is delayed because there's 149 in there. When I used to do the streams on a Friday night during COVID, I used to get nearly 600 people in the streams because everybody had nothing to do, you know. Dog, these trolls will do anything to get your attention, for sure. I can't believe that guy's like telling me to drink out of a glass, you know. I mean, for God's sake, another bottle drinker. What internet site is best for finding a real genuine girlfriend? They're all the same. There's a couple of things I say. I'm finding a girlfriend in Thailand. Okay, don't walk into a bar or a go-go club and think she's different, because she's absolutely not. They're not evil girls. They're not nasty girls. Okay, they're working in the bars to make money to support families, kids, and all the rest of it. So they're going to try and pull the wool over your eyes. They're going to try and get as much money out of you, okay? So don't go for a bar girl. There's guys who'll write in and say, oh, I've been with a bar girl for 17 years. Okay, that might be true, but very, very rare. Most guys come out, get losing. As far as dating sites go, they're all pretty much the same. You've got Baboo. I met mine on Thai Friendly. Badoo, Thai Friendly, and what's the other big one? Thai Friendly, Badoo, and God, I forgot what it is. There's 3 big ones. Thai Friendly, Badoo. Somebody will tell me. There's another one. Now, what you got to watch out for, I'll give you a few tips on the dating sites, okay? What most guys, they don't do, they don't really look at the profile, because a lot of people, there are a lot of scammers on there, people looking for money, okay? But a lot of guys, they just flick like, Dad, she's nice. No. Oh, she's pretty. No, she's pretty. And that's it. You've got to look at it properly, because a lot of the descriptions they'll say, I'm looking for a sponsor. I'm looking for somebody to take care of me, or I don't have a job and my rent's due. You know, I'll look after you, but I need a salary, that sort of thing. They'll be honest, or, you know, they're right. I'm a lady boy, but I'm not in the adult entertainment business. I'm looking for love, genuine love, but I'm a lady boy. You know, so a lot of them will tell you the truth, but there are a lot of scammers. And the other thing you want to do is make a really good profile of yourself. You know, when I did mine, somebody told me, you know, if a Thai girl sees you with a little puppy or a cat, that elevates you And it does. I'll tell you the story of my girlfriend. So I was at Simon's house, my friend, he's got Persian cats. And one was on the table, like, and I was like, yeah, Simon, get this. And I put my arm around the cat and I was like, and he took a picture and I put that up on Facebook. And about a year into my relationship, I said to my girlfriend, why, there's loads of guys on there. What made you choose me? At the time I was 62 sort of thing. And she said, oh, you love cats. I thought you loved cats. She said, I love cats. I said, I can't stand them. I only done it. And she's like, we laugh about it now. But you want to put a decent profile. I said things like, I said, a little bit of it were white lies. I said, some was true, some wasn't. I said, I don't like bars. I said, I like good food, the cinema, stuff like that. Because a lot of these girls come out of relationships where they had boyfriends who were gambling all the money away, or they were alcoholics, or they were beating them and stuff like that. And they don't want to meet somebody like that. They want to meet a decent guy who's going to, take care of them, as it were. I don't mean give them a salary, but take care as in be a proper boyfriend. So just give yourself a good profile and just read the descriptions very well. The only problem in Thailand, I'd say, before you meet anybody, if you meet a girl and you're planning to meet up with her, what I would say to you is make sure you have FaceTime with her online or something. You can get off the dating site and get onto WhatsApp online, because the thing is, 9 out of 10 of them, they put a photograph up there that's like 10 years old at least. I mean, I remember I met this woman before my girlfriend. I didn't meet her, but we were talking and I did FaceTime with her. And in the picture on her profile, she looked about 30. She was in traditional dress. She was beautiful. Hair was up. And I thought, wow, what a lady sort of thing. And I went on and she was about 50. She was overweight. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but that's not what I wanted to date, so make sure you do FaceTime before you meet anybody. Mazza, hi, Peter. Good to catch you. 2 hours now, Mazza. I won't be around much longer, but nice to see you in. Andrew, Peter, next session in 2 weeks, can you do as pick the ladyboy game? I only actually do that in the members streams now. The reason for it is I got into some problems when I did it. I used to do spot the tiger, spot the ladyboy, and some other bits and bobs, the manga minute. I still do that in the members streams. I don't not do it in the regular stream because I'm trying to force everybody to be a member. It's not that, but I did get some problems with images. There was a Thai girl wrote to me one time. This is a couple of years ago. So I tend to do things in the members stream only now, because it's only people who are in the members stream. I don't generally get everybody and his brother in there. And by the way, next Sunday, I think, if he's free, I think he's coming on. I think Bangkok Pat's going to be my guest next Sunday. I do the stream at 8 o'clock next week. He was supposed to be on last Sunday, but he does walking tours in Bangkok, and he didn't get back till about 7. So he said, if you can leave it till next Sunday. And I was like, well, I don't have one next Sunday, so we'll do it then. So I wrote to him yesterday just to remind him of the date. He wrote back to me, but he didn't say anything about the live stream. Thai Cupid, that's it. Thank you, JC, is it? Yeah, Thai Cupid, that's the other big dating site. And he said, avoid Tinder. Oh, my God. Well, actually, Bangkok Pat, I don't think he'll mind you saying this. He met his girlfriend on Tinder. I met my girlfriend on Tinder. And I know a lot of guys who met their permanent girlfriends on Tinder. You must have had a bad experience. Now I've forgotten what we were talking about. Bangkok Pat, yeah. So he should be on Saturday. And that should be interesting, because I haven't had him on a live stream for 3 years. And I haven't done a video with him since I came to Bangkok the first year. So it's been about, I haven't seen him for about 2 years. Did a couple of videos with him years ago. Holden fan, hi Peter, how are you? I just got home from work, team building day, and got to ride Frank the horse. Brilliant. How did you go with your tire? I did see the clips on Facebook, but it's all good now. I'm actually meeting my girlfriend in town at 5, because she's talking to the shop. I'm getting a second-hand wheel and tire for about 1,500 baht, which I'm going to keep in the boot for emergency. I don't want to be in that situation again. Talking about team building day, there's a guy on TikTok I watch quite often. His videos come up, and it's about bosses who are unreasonable. So, like, people will be on vacation. They've booked it months in advance, and they're in Spain, and the boss is like, "I need you in today," and they're really unreasonable what they write in their letters to their staff. Dean Isan, another thing you could do is, if you want a cooler shower in the day, to place a large bin in the bathroom, fill it up with water, and after a day it will be cool enough to shower. Thanks for the tip, D, but I don't think I need to go to that extreme, because I generally, what I do is what I do is I shower when I've done the whole day. It's finished. Okay, finished with it. I've been out to dinner. I come back. I think, right, that's it. I'm not going out again. It's normally about 8 o'clock at night. What I do is I then take a shower, brush my teeth, and take a full shower, wash my hair or whatever, and then I come into the lounge when I have the air conditioning on in the evening to watch TV. So when I wake up in the morning, I don't generally take a shower. I have a proper wash, a wash. And then, if I go out and I get really hot and sticky in the day, I'll have a shower in the daytime. But most of the time, I can wait till the evening. But it's amazing how hot it's coming out of the. I don't want to be gross, okay, but I've got to tell you this just to tell you not how bad it is, but just how unbelievable it is. So I went to the toilet yesterday. I wouldn't dare do it today. Went to the toilet, sat down. You know what I mean, right? Went to use the bum gum. It actually burnt me. What was that song? Ring of Fire. Yeah. So I have to wait a while. Thanks, Lance. I appreciate that. Donkey Kong, is this going to be the last one today? Hi, Peter. Hi, I've been following the channel for a while. This is the first time I've been in your stream live. Love the channel. Great info on Thailand. Thank you very much. I do urge you to watch the video. That if you're not a member, watch the video on Tuesday, because I give a lot of good tips. It's called, let me see what it's called, because, Mr. Dementia here. I've released it to members today, actually. It says, this one, retiring to Thailand, what can go wrong? And what I talk about again in that video is if, you might have been out here a few times, you might think you know what you're doing, you plan to retire out here, but there are things that can go wrong. And I mentioned about 20 points there. Just to steer you on the right course. So if you're coming out here for any length of time or you're going to retire, do watch that video, because it's very, it's not just another YouTube video to get clicks. It's a very informative video. At the end of it, when I watched it myself, I thought, yeah, that's come out pretty good. Okay. And Andrew, how much is membership, Pete? Might as well plug in. Oh, that's very nice of you. It's very cheap. It's in pounds. It's £4.99, I think it is. It's just the one membership. You can go on to the front of YouTube. It will show you where to do it. I think you can go. You'll get it off my website. I'll put the address up here. There is a page. It says join as a member. That's consultation. That I won't keep it up there for long. That's the actual URL. It's just a one page, it's just a couple of pages just to have a presence on the web. But there is a link on there that says become a member. Members get early access to videos, and we do 2 members only live streams every month. And the members live stream is where I do continue the manga minute, spot the Asian girl, spot the lady boy, a whole bunch of stuff, that I used to do during COVID. Okay. Donkey Kong again, We'll watch on Tuesday. Thanks. I might join as a member soon. Okay, that was the last one, wasn't it? Well, I don't do any live streams on a Tuesday. It's Saturday and Sunday, unless I happen to be on a beach somewhere and I just fancy doing one. I think we're there, guys. I think I've read everybody's comment there. How long have I got? I've still got, I've only got an hour. I've got to be in town an hour. I think I'm going to end it there, guys. It's 4 o'clock here. I've got to sort him out. I've got to get changed. I've got to get the car unwrapped, as it were, and get into town. Right, guys, thanks for being with me today. I do enjoy the Saturday streams. I don't know why. They're a lot more casual. People see, and there are some different faces in here as well. I can see some regulars as well. I hope you enjoyed it. The next week, as I say, Bangkok Pat on Sunday. Hopefully he'll be here. And I'll be back with the Saturday stream in 2 weeks' time, okay? To the guys who left the super chats, thanks very much. Very generous as always. And I'll see you on Sunday. No, I don't have any outgoing music yet for the Saturday stream, so I'll just say goodbye and enjoy the rest of your weekend, okay?